What is up? What is up, boxing world? What is up, FightHype family? Really, this one for the hardcores tonight. I don't expect to get 8,000 people watching like we did earlier today for Anthony Joshua winning a unanimous decision over Jermaine Franklin. But welcome back again, especially to my hardcores out here. I asked you guys when we were going 7,000 strong for Joshua Franklin, do I come back tonight? Do I do the Robeisy Ramirez round by round? And I got enough yeses from the hardcores to warrant me coming on tonight. So, without further ado, let's kick off with the official FightHype live theme music. One moment. Alright, there we go, guys. We're back at it again. Today it's Robeisy Ramirez taking on Isaac Dogboe of Ghana. Isaac Dogboe, been a former champion at 122 pounds. Lost a couple of tough fights to Emmanuel Navarrete. Got back into the grind with Barry Hunter from the Headbangers Gym. And he's a significant underdog tonight against the former 2016 gold medalist, Robeisy Ramirez, who's about an 8-1 favorite. But you can't count out the Ghanaian warrior. Now, can't count out Isaac Dogboe, the home of Azuma Nelson and Ike Quartey. Several good fighters from Ghana. And you can't count them out tonight, folks. So, without further ado, we shall begin tonight's round by round. Although we do have a Joet Gonzalez co-main event to get through, not going to call the Joet Gonzalez-Enrique Vivas fight with quite the same vigor that we will the main event. I'll check in throughout the fight, but was hoping we could talk some boxing while we're killing some time before main event time. So, what is going on? Guys, you gotta love the theme song. So, if anyone actually knows where that comes from, that theme song that we're using, let me know. Mark Laguna saying, did you catch Jahai Tucker versus Sek? I did. Good fight. Very good fight. Felt like people are getting, running a little too much praise for Jahai Tucker in that fight. No, you know what? That's not true. I mean, he's a prospect at 20 years old who really fought really well with his combinations. When he was staying in the pocket, he put together some beautiful combinations. Good punch placement with his body shots, too. But he got hit a lot against Sek. And, at times didn't listen to his corner, kept hitting off the break, got a point deducted for that. But I like the dog he showed in this fight. I did like the dog, but you don't want it to get the better of you. To where you start having, losing composure, losing focus, and start doing, kind of ignorant things like he was starting to do in that fight, and then not listening to his old man in the corner trying to. But then he actually did listen because his dad wanted him to box the 8th round, the final round, and use the jab, and Jahai did do that. So, man, good to see some regulars. My man Mark Lagunas, good to see you. Z-Side, I like that, boxing analyst. Good to see you, boxing analyst. Lee Wood versus, what's up, Swavey04? Lee Wood versus Mauricio Lara rematch. Who you got? I got Lara. Won the first fight off that big left hook. Was arguably down on the cards when he landed it, but I got Lara because he's the younger guy. Lee Wood, having been knocked out the first fight, in his mid-30s, going on 35 years old. I just think I think the fight would probably play out the same. Wood boxing well for 4 or 5 or 6 rounds, but then as he's in good shape, he has good conditioning, but as exchanges take place more in the fight, that left hook from Lara is going to find a home again. I just would pick Lara again, even though sometimes the better boxer, the smarter fighter, and that would be Lee Wood, can make the adjustments in fight number 2, but if he's 10 years older, it's harder for that smarter fighter to make adjustments coming off a knockout. So I would favor Mauricio Lara again. Sweet Baby A said, yeah, boy, I knew you'd be getting it in. Let's call it FightHype. Yes, sir, be getting it in. And this is a true hardcore fight. Sonia Dumas. Great to see you, Sonia. Sonia, you never gave me your thoughts on Benavidez last Saturday. What'd you think about that? Let me know in the chat, Sonia. What did you think of Benavidez' performance? Did you walk away Saturday night liking him more or disliking him more? And do you want to see that Canelo fight? So let me know, Sonia. Sonia, like a lot of fans, has been doing a wait-and-see approach with David Benavidez, not buying into all the hype of the Mexican monster, wanting him to prove it in the ring. And David took a good step towards that. I'm thinking, last Saturday beating Caleb Plant, not getting the knockout like Canelo Alvarez was able to, and giving away more rounds early than Canelo Alvarez did, but ultimately almost outlanding Canelo in punches landed on Caleb Plant 2-1. Much bigger discrepancy. Caleb Plant landed less than 100 punches and got hit with over 200 punches. Much closer CompuBox numbers in the Canelo fight, but again, Canelo with the superior performance, didn't get hit as much as David early and got the knockout. A lot of people felt like David would have got that knockout without Kenny Bayless, but ultimately it went the distance. So, yeah, we're just waiting for Robeisy Ramirez and Isaac Dogboe to get it going. And I'm sure there's going to be an entertaining fight between Joet Gonzalez and Enrique Vivas. My man Andre Ward commentating some. Let me hear a little bit of what Dre is saying about the main event tonight. Oh, oops. Can't. There we go. Can't let too much audio in, then we get in trouble, but here we go.
And we all came to the same conclusion.
Yeah, Dogboe plus 550 tonight at the book. So, I mean, if you're out there listening, you're thinking of putting on a bet, if you bet 100, you get 550 for Dogboe, but you gotta bet $800 on Robeisy Ramirez tonight just to win back 100. I got Ramirez winning this fight for sure. I think his left hand is going to find a home. His left hand under Ismail Salas has really become prolific. And I think that he'll walk Dogboe, who is kind of one-dimensional, who has been working on things with Barry Hunter. But ultimately, if he can't get inside on that high guard and explode to the body and to the head inside in the phone booth, he's not going to win a fight any other way. But getting offense done at that range. But even with that said, I mean, Ramirez lost his professional debut. Dogboe isn't a slouch. 8-1 might be a little disrespectful, but I do agree Ramirez is going to win this fight. I don't think Dogboe is going to be getting out of the way of too many of those left hands. But if he can find a way to cut the distance, if Barry Hunter has some tricks up his sleeve with intelligent aggression, maybe finding some angles to surprise Ramirez, entering his way in, getting into that phone booth range where he can explode, maybe we get a surprise on our hands tonight. So, but I do think Ramirez with that left hand is going to be catching Dogboe coming in repeatedly. Dogboe is a short guy at this weight class. Let me see here. Boxing analyst. Thoughts on Roy versus Pettis? I've only been hearing about it, boxing analyst. I haven't paid it any mind. You guys will have to update me on. I wish to not. Ever since Glenn Johnson, man, it's just been pointless in Roy Jones' career. I love Roy. Captain Hook, Mr. Unstoppable, the fighter of the 1990s, one of the greatest fighters of all time, maybe the greatest talent in boxing history. But all that said, really everything after the Glenn Johnson fight has been kind of a waste of time. So I don't pay it too much mind. I don't like to see Roy Jones fight past his prime, really, because it kind of hurts to watch. I'll never forget ordering the Joe Calzaghe fight, having casual fans over that night, and them kind of tripping out at how angry I was watching the Roy Jones-Calzaghe fight from Madison Square Garden, because me just shouting at the screen like, that's not Roy Jones, you guys don't know, man, Roy would be doing this, and Roy, there's no way Joe Calzaghe would be beating a prime Roy Jones and all that. So yes sir, click on motherfucker. Good to see motherfucker in the chat. I got it wrong, it's motherfucker. I'm getting it anyway. Good to see you, my man. Sonia Dumas responding to my question to her about Canelo. Javier G saying, shout out Sean, my fiance's Italian and I'm Mexican. Kids next. Oh, congrats Javier G. Your kid's gonna be like my kid. My kid's Mexican and Italian. It's just, the dad's Italian and the mom's Mexican, whereas you are Mexican and your wife's Italian. So, but congratulations to you, my man. Got a beautiful kid on the way. And let me see. Sonia, though, finally getting back to me about David Benavidez did just like I thought he would. He didn't give his fans a knockout, but I do want to see Canelo, David Benavidez. Canelo told you if he's 100%, nobody can beat him, so he beats Bivol. We'll see. I don't count him out against Bivol. It seems like a lot of people are. Think Bivol is the favorite. If you put a gun to my head, I'd have to edge it to him again. But Canelo sounds like he's 100% ready to do it with Bivol, what he did with Golovkin in their rematch. and that's turn it up 2 or 3 notches. Empty the tank, empty the clip, throw 100 more punches, don't take a backward step. And if he does all that at 175 like he did at 160 5 years ago, in that rematch with Golovkin, he might surprise the world and reclaim, pound for pound supremacy and beat Bivol and win the WBA title. But I don't count Canelo out. And but let's see how he looks against Ryder right now. As great as Canelo's energy was on media day in San Diego this week, I still have questions about his hand speed at 32 years old, getting older, having all that weight on him, moving up to 75. He didn't look as zippy, as snappy, as fast in 2022 as he did in 2021. And, speed is kind of one of the first things to start trailing, to start declining once you get into your 30s. You don't lose the power right away, but the speed, if anything, is what's going to start the legs, things like that. And Canelo looked great to me at his media day. I just want to see against John Ryder, does he still have that speed? Because Canelo always has had kind of deceptive hand speed, where he's this big, strong guy who can punch and he's explosive. And I think he surprises fighters in the ring with his hand speed. And against Golovkin, not just Bivol, but against Golovkin, he looked a little sluggish by his standards. So looking forward to that John Ryder fight and seeing if Canelo's back to 2021 Canelo and not 2022 Canelo. So right now they're showing Ismail Salas in the locker room warming up with Robeisy Ramirez. And man, ESPN is taking a while. We got a whole other fight to go, and it's 8:30. It's almost midnight on the East Coast time. That's why we decided to start the live with a start time of 8:15. We thought we'd get to main event time at that point, but we're not even at the co-main event yet. Come on, ESPN. It's late out here. Shout out to my man Alex Sanchez in Robeisy's dressing room. He does some stuff for us here at Fight Hype. Shout out, Alex. I see you. See you on the big screen. So, but Ramirez with some fly trunks on, got his pink and teal color scheme. Almost Florida style, even though, he's not from Florida, from Cuba, and has been living out here in Las Vegas under Salas. Lost that pro debut, beat Shakur Stevenson in the gold medal match in 2016 Rio. Malcolm Emanuel says, I still have Canelo as pound for pound. I don't have him as pound for pound, but I kind of feel like the spot is vacant since then. I'm You says, you're the best fight commentary. I watch the fights but listen to you. Thank you, I'm You. And that makes sense for some. I mean, please keep listening to me, but I do got to admit, I'm going up against Showtime has a very strong team too. DAZN's is not as strong in comparison to Showtime and ESPN, but I'm going up against probably the strongest commentary team in the sport with Tim and Andre commentating a fight. So the competition is fierce tonight for this round by round, but I'm up to it. I'm up to it with the 2 Hall of Famers. Sonia saying Canelo still has weight on him, so don't judge the speed too much from San Diego earlier this week. Dave Tricks, what do Americans make of AJ? Americans probably think of AJ as a big softy. That was the perception they had of Lennox Lewis, and he was a killer. He was one of the top 5 probably heavyweights that ever laced him up. And yet, because he was a proper Englishman with a British accent and all, he was thought of as never being as tenacious, as ferocious, as tough as the American heavyweights. Tyson, Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, and even though Bowe ducked him, Riddick Bowe, and so on and so forth. The boxing purists in America knew Lennox was a truly great heavyweight, but your average American fan didn't think too highly of him. And I imagine they think the same of Joshua. They probably think he's soft. That's their perception of him, that he's a big, soft, muscle-bound, hard puncher, but a big pansy, a big softy, I think is what a lot of casual American fight fans would think of Anthony Joshua. Not my opinion. I kind of liked some of what I saw from Joshua today. I liked his jab. I liked his defense out of the high guard and staying in position more. I didn't, still timid, still not sitting down on his punches, still got some things, but I felt he had a performance today that him and Derek James had something to build off of. And the first post Joshua posted was momentum, and I got what he meant by that. Slow motion is better than no motion. You rather would have had a knockout. You didn't beat anyone in the top 10. You rather would have had a knockout, but he got some momentum going in a positive direction and some things to build off of with Derek James. So, by the way, we are in round 1 of the co-main event on ESPN from Tulsa, Oklahoma, going on with Joet Gonzalez and Enrique Vivas. Vivas known to throw 80 punches or so around. Joet Gonzalez been in some great fights with was in a great fight with Emmanuel Navarrete. A guy that isn't going to back up too much, a tough Mexican-American kid who's going to look to fight. And he has a guy in front of him in Vivas who is willing to oblige that style tonight. So we'll see what we get from these two. I'm going to be commentating the main event a lot more closely than this co-main event. Gonzalez and Vivas. I'll be letting you guys know what's going on throughout that fight too. But we're just kind of kicking it, talking with the chat. Charles N., thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, Sean. Appreciate you, Charles, just for popping in with the super chat on a not one of the biggest fights at all, but appreciate you, man, for popping in. Appreciate that super chat. Kenneth Sorko asks, who's leading between Dogboe and Ramirez? Nothing yet, my man. Nothing yet. We're in the co-main event. First round here between Enrique Vivas and Joet Gonzalez. So I expect this fight to definitely go some rounds. Neither guy is a one-punch guy. Mexican fighters got tough chins. So we're probably in for a 10-round, fun fight back and forth between Vivas and Gonzalez here. I'm You says, I have a question. Are you considering a champ if you get a regular belt? Example, Tank is a 3-division champ, but his 140-pound belt is just a regular one since Josh held them all. I think if I'm being objective about it, you can't consider Tank a 140-pound champion. Josh Taylor was undisputed. Mario Barrios on a disputed decision on the undercard of Errol Spence, Sean Porter, beat a guy. He did drop him twice, and that's what got him the decision. But that was a very tough fight he had. And, he winds up defending that WBA regular belt against Cowboy Ryan Carl. And, so no, I don't really consider Tank a 140-pound champion. I don't really consider David Morrell a 168-pound champion. So, but Tank's belt that he won at 130 against Pedraza is legit. I don't even know if Tank's ever won a full title. I believe he won a full WBA title at 135. I'd have to recheck the box rec. I know he had a regular belt at 35. You know what? I think he never even had the full WBA title at 35 either. Now, that being said, maybe more important than what I think, the International Boxing Hall of Fame up there in upstate New York, they do consider interim titles and regular titles world titles. So Tank, if he were to get inducted into the Hall of Fame tomorrow, which, I don't think he would be, but I'm just saying if he was, he'd be inducted as a 3-division champion because Canastota considers those belts world titles. I usually won't, unless there's some very special circumstance. I usually won't, but so I don't think of Tank as a 140-pound champion. I do think Barrios was a good win. I do think Barrios is better now at 147 than he was, drained and tight, having never fought at that level. In a Thurman fight, even though he only won 2 or 3 rounds at the most, he still looked a lot better against Thurman and comfortable. And then in his last fight against Santiago, Barrios looked pretty good at welterweight, and I'm actually favoring him to beat Yordenis Ugas when they wind up meeting up. So I give Tank credit for beating Barrios, but no, he's not a world champion at 140 pounds. Clemenin said Tank low-key wasted his career. Well, he's 28. He's in his prime, and he's fighting in, what's probably going to be the biggest pay-per-view in the United States in 2023. Ryan's never won a title, so he is fighting a uber-talented but also uber-unproven 24-year-old in Ryan Garcia. So, I think... Tank hasn't wasted his career, and he's fought some decent fights, some good fighters. Isaac Cruz, Jose Pedraza, Leo Santa Cruz was small, but had only one loss that he had avenged to Carl Frampton, and was a tall guy that could at least match the height of Tank moving up to 130. And then so he's had some good wins. Rolly Romero's a dangerous slugger at 35. So he's had some solid wins. It's just that he lacks those great career-defining wins. But at 28 years old, he beats Ryan Garcia. He could get right in there with Devin Haney. And if he were to beat Devin Haney, then then now we're really talking. So I don't think he's wasted his career. I think he's had a solid career to this point. Nothing spectacular, nothing too career defining yet, but he's had some solid wins, some good wins. Pedraza, namely one of them, and some solid performances and knockouts. I do think Tank is at the bottom there of that top 10 pound for pound. I never have questioned him on the eye test in terms of power, speed, dexterity, and coordination, but defense. But yeah, we do got to see him. Look, I've said for a minute that him and Devin Haney, you watch, Haney will beat Lomachenko. Him and Devin Haney is going to become the Spence Crawford of the lightweight division. You heard it here first. So, yeah. And if he, and that's going to be the fight that'll tell us everything we need to know about Gervonta Davis, is if and hopefully when him and Haney would cross paths. Haney is saying he could stick around at lightweight longer, although it's more likely. Well, it all depends. He's a free agent after the Lomachenko fight. If Devin can stick around 35 for 2 or 3 more fights, then a fight with Tank is alive and well. He would just have to go to the PBC side and kind of build that up over there. But if he stays at lightweight against Shakur, that's a great fight. If he goes up to 140 and fights the winner of Tio and Taylor, that's a great fight. But Tank, I do think Tank's going to knock out Ryan in the second half of that fight. I don't count Ryan out. You can't with his blend of size, speed, and power. But I do think Tank is in the driver's seat. Should he beat Ryan, the purists like me will say, Devin Haney's the lightweight champion. He's the king of the lightweights. It's not all about money always. It is about who's the best. If you're a fan of the sport, if you're not counting pockets and don't have a cut of the business, then you're watching it because you want to know who's the best. Devin Haney's the best lightweight in the world. He's the champion. But there will be, even though he's undisputed, there will be dispute from the fans. Who's better, Tank or Haney? And, Tank is in the driver's seat, in the business side of things. And Haney may have to play the B side like he did with Kambosos and jump over the PBC side and kind of take what's given to him to get to a Davis fight. But that's the fight that would really prove Tank. They both would have something the other guy wants. Devin, the credibility of being the undisputed lightweight king, the lightweight champion, just the lightweight champion, period. We don't even need undisputed. He's just the lightweight champion. No questions asked. But Tank is the king of the box office, and he's heralded as a top elite fighter himself. So, yeah, man, buckle up, because after May 20th, everyone's going to start demanding Haney and Davis at 35. And it's going to be like Spence Crawford. It's going to be wrong side of the street, this side of the street, A side, B side, all that kind of talk. Just get ready for it. And we're about to head into round 3 here of Joet Gonzalez, Enrique Vivas. As expected, a tough fight between these two Mexican warriors, but I got to get to a super chat. My man Charles, good to see you, Charles, says, side note, I'm curious, have you ever asked Canelo about David Morrell Jr.? Just curious if he has Morrell on his radar. Well, Charles, from my experience covering boxing, I haven't asked Canelo because I'm almost certain that he's not on Canelo's radar. At best, Canelo will acknowledge that he's seen him fight. But if Canelo said a guy like David Benavidez, a fellow, Mexican-American, Ecuadorian, whatever, but fellow Mexican fighter who's drawing significant buzz in the boxing world, who has an exciting come-forward style, who's the youngest super middleweight champion in boxing history, who's been calling him out alongside his father for 2 or 3 years, if Canelo will hardly acknowledge him up until beating Caleb Plant as a legit opponent, as a good fight, he's certainly not going to acknowledge David Morrell Jr., who's much earlier in his career than even David's been in while calling out Canelo for a couple years. So I've never asked Canelo about David Morrell, and I'm almost certain he is not on Canelo's radar. But he's on my radar, and I do think he's the top youngster at 68. I know he's got a regular belt, but he's a youngster, and he's the only guy at 68 that can equal Benavidez' size. And he has good feet. And unlike a Caleb Plant, with that size and physicality at 68, I think he could get Benavidez' respect with the pop and the power and the shots. That fight's undercooked, but we might get it next anyways, Benavidez and Morrell. And that's a hell of a fight. A potentially great fight, just a little undercooked. Morrell is less than 10 fights into his pro career. David just got on pay-per-view. By the way, Joet Gonzalez and Enrique Vivas are exchanging beautifully in round 3 in the phone booth, digging into each other's bodies, throwing combinations just like we'd expect from these two Mexican warriors. Doms, shout out to you, Doms. Another super chat from my man Kobe. Said, if Lomachenko, thank you for the super chat, brother. If Lomachenko can force the fight into more of a Maidana versus Floyd or Cotto versus Floyd type of fight, I think he has a chance to win. Thank you for the super chat, Kobe. But think of the two, fighters you just mentioned, Miguel Cotto and Marcos Maidana. Miguel Cotto at 140 pounds was a seek and destroy fighter. He got caught by Ricardo Torres back in 2005. And that did begin to make him think twice. Made him a little bit more of a boxer-puncher. But Cotto saved the Torres fight. Well, I mean, he was seek and destroy even after that fight. And it really, in the last 4 rounds against Shane Mosley at welterweight, when Cotto bizarrely was in control of that fight, he was backing Mosley up, digging the hooks to the body like he was known for. And then all of a sudden, Mosley buzzed him late in that fight, and Cotto became a boxer-puncher after that. But anyways, point being, Cotto and Maidana, they got true pressure fighter in their DNA, and they got heavy hands. Cotto had a brick for a left hook, for a left hand, and Maidana had bricks in both hands and didn't give a fuck about what was coming back. Didn't care about taking one to land one. Cotto not as relentless as Maidana, but at 140 and for various spots in his career, had pressure fighter in his DNA, was used to trapping guys on the ropes, no matter how good their movement was, Floyd Mayweather included. Trapping guys on the ropes, killing them with the left hook to the body. Maidana, trapping you on the ropes, throwing haymakers, not caring if they come out clean, not caring if he's eating punches, and letting them go. That's not in Lomachenko's DNA, Kobe. Lomachenko is a thinker. He's a technical fighter. He's a pressure fighter, but a technical pressure fighter. It's never been in his DNA to just go and get you quite like that. Even when he's made guys quit, when he was in his Nomaschenko stage, he's making it look pretty. He's not just seek and destroy. Richard Comey, who he had out on his feet in the 7th round, he let him go all the way the distance because he played nice. He didn't have that seek and destroy in him. So if Lomachenko is going to be that guy, the only fight I've ever seen Lomachenko have any of that in him, because he's a technical genius in the ring. He's not a slugger. He's not a pressure. He knows how to apply intelligent pressure. He is a pressure fighter, but he's a thinking fighter. He's not like Maidana and a young Cotto in that way. And what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought there for a moment. Yeah, that's about it. Lomachenko, I do think he's gonna be able to do what Jojo Diaz did against Devin. Maybe win 3 or 4 rounds, hit him with the left hand when he's able to get in range, but Devin's going to dictate first behind that jab, get off to a good start. And one thing Devin doesn't give credit for, because people try to play like he clinches too much, or they talk about he doesn't have a lot of power, but he has good volume. He has better volume, Devin Haney, behind the long jab and the long arms in the center of the ring. He gets off. He lets his hands go at a higher volume than Shakur Stevenson, than Tank Davis, the other 2 elite lightweights. So I like that about him, and that volume is going to get him off to a lead. Lomachenko inevitably will catch his rhythm, will make his beautiful, intelligent pressure, make his steps, fight out of that high guard beautifully, take away the jab, and he'll pop Devin's head up with some left hands, I'm sure, at some point in the fight, but I don't think he's going to beat Devin. So we'll see, man. Fly King Steve, for the hardcores. Yes, sir, for the hardcores. DLT Guitar saying Haney is the worst, most boring fighter ever. That's why I addressed that, DLT Guitar. You watch the first 9 rounds of Linares. He was lighting Linares up. Jojo Diaz was a fun fight through 12 rounds. First Kambosos fight was dull. Alfredo Santiago fight was dull. Yuriorkis Gamboa fight was dull. But the second Kambosos fight was fun. It was a really fun fight down the stretch. So the Diaz fight was fun. The Linares fight was fun. And the Kambosos rematch fight was fun. The first Kambosos fight was dull. The Gamboa fight was dull. And Santiago was dull. He gets a knockout of the year against Antonio Moran. He breaks the nose of Zaur Abdullayev. So, he's having a boxing career. Some fights are boring, some fights are fun, I think he's getting that label of boring too much. I think his volume in the center of the ring is good. ESPN did him dirty with that graphic of number of clinches in this fight in that Kambosos rematch when he really wasn't clinching that much, and that was a fun fight down the stretch. So, Loma can't start like he did against Tio, says Boston's. No, he can't, but he is inevitably going to start slow. That's just his style. That's just, again, although the one fight I love from Lomachenko over the last couple years was Nakatani. He had a different level of spite in his punches that night. He wasn't touch, bang, touch, doing all the pretty moves. No, he was throwing that left hand, boom, with big boy bad intentions. And that's the left hand that I need to see against Devin Haney. Shakur is better than Tank and Haney, says 3 Pumps. A lot of people feel that way, 3 Pumps. That is mostly the consensus when I talk to people who know boxing. They would put Shakur first, and then after that it's close between. I think a lot of people, most people I talk to in boxing would have it Shakur first, Tank second, Haney third. And I think Haney is going to be 1 because I think he's taller and has longer arms than the other 2 guys, Shakur and Tank. He started at 35, Shakur started at 26, Tank started at 30. Those guys don't have the length on their frame to fill out to welterweight the way Haney does. And Haney throws more punches than they do. They're both more accurate than Haney, but Haney is the one out of the 3 of them reminds me of Floyd the most. He's not Floyd. There's only one Floyd. As good as his reflexes and ability in the center of the ring is, Floyd was on another stratosphere, from everybody in terms of gifts and reflexes and hand speed in the center of the ring. But if Floyd Mayweather is Michael Jordan, the closest Kobe Bryant, the closest facsimile, the closest facsimile to, excuse me, I'm probably not saying the word right, is Devin. And watch the rematch with Kambosos, those highlights, the way he started dropping in that right hand over the top of Kambosos' jab was a little, Mayweather-esque. Now, he doesn't have the stab to the body like Mayweather does and a few other things, but yeah, I'm high on Haney, as you guys can see. I think people make a lot about the perfect fundamentals and the amateur pedigree of Shakur, and then they make a lot about the speed and power of Davis. But I think it might not be as sexy as that Olympic medal or that punching power of Davis, but I think the height, the length, and the jab, and the ability to put more weight on and go up more weight classes could quietly give Devin the best career out of the 3. It remains to be seen. The way boxing is right now, these 3 may never fight each other. I'm an optimist. I think they will. But, that's a problem. So, Brotherhood Sports said, Sean, Haney is closer to Billy Joe Saunders than Floyd. Stop it. Ooh, you're brutal, Brotherhood Sports. Billy Joe at middleweight wasn't half bad. I mean, he did win a title at middleweight and a bullshit, vacant WBO belt at 168. But Billy Joe at 60 wasn't bad. That David Lemieux fight, that Andy Lee fight where he dropped Andy Lee twice. He beat Chris Eubanks Jr. at middleweight. I mean, he wasn't no slouch at middleweight. But I think Devin lands some uppercuts. He could check you with the hook. He drops in the right hand, and he's got a great jab. He stays in way better shape than Billy Joe Saunders ever did. But I get what you're saying. You're not saying Devin is Billy Joe Saunders. You're just saying he's closer to Billy Joe Saunders than TBE, than Floyd Mayweather. So I get it, but Gregory Arias said, bro, he couldn't even knock out a past his prime Gamboa. Well, Gregory Arias, it did take Tank, who we know has power, 12 rounds to get Gamboa out of there. So, I mean, you could argue Gamboa could have saw the finish line that night. So, no one would question Davis's power, and we know that it took him some time against the same kind of Gamboa. And again, Gregory Arias, it's not always about putting a guy away. It's about putting together 7 to 8 rounds out of 12 to win a decision. And Haney, with his defense, his length, his jab, and then the ability to counterpunch you coming in behind that jab, and the ability to get off the punch count to 50, 60 punches a round, he's just going to be very tough to beat over 12 rounds. It's not always about the stuff that sells on highlight reels that wins fights. The jab is the most important punch in boxing, and he's got one of the best jabs in the game. Brotherhood Sports says, that's what I'm saying, Sean. Haney is just a basic outside boxer like Billy Joe. Very one-dimensional. I will say this, Brotherhood Sports. Devin's got to develop the inside game. He tends to just clinch when someone gets inside. The problem is, it's tough for a lightweight to get into the range where Devin feels uncomfortable and wants to tie up because he's so tall and fast that you got to walk through the sharp counters to get here, to get close, and you got to get past that long jab in the center of the ring. So by the time they navigate all that and get inside, they usually get tied up. And that's something Devin's going to have to work on, being a better inside fighter, because inevitably guys will make him fight in there. He's not going to be able to just clinch every time. So that is something he has to work on, Brotherhood Sports. But a big reason why it hasn't mattered yet is just how sharp he is on the outside behind the jab and behind the counters. And the activity, the volume, It'd be easier for these guys to get in if he wasn't kind of being constant on the outside behind the jab, but he is. So, but that's part of why I think Lomachenko is going to hit him with some left hands, because yes, Lomachenko has to cut distance and get inside to a certain extent of his long arms, but Loma doesn't do his work in the phone booth. He's good at mid-ish close range. And I just think he's going to be able to hit Devin with some left hands like Diaz was at that same range. Now, the thing is, Diaz has a little bit more. He's a dog. Lomachenko's a dog too, but a few times, that's let him down against Tio and against Alito. But Diaz was willing to take one to land one. Lomachenko will have to be willing to do the same thing to get in certain range with Devin. And if Devin doesn't get hit by the left hand of Lomachenko a lot, I got to give him credit because, he did get hit with that left hand quite a bit against Jojo Diaz. So that'll mean he learned from that fight and has gotten a lot better. I expect him to be better than he was against Jojo Diaz. But Lomachenko's also a better fighter than Jojo Diaz. So that negates some of his improvements against that short, stocky southpaw style. We'll see. I'm you said Andre Ward is the Kobe to Floyd's Jordan. I can't agree with that because they were so different stylistically. If anything, Andre Ward reminded me more of Bernard Hopkins than Floyd Mayweather. Actually, and funny, Adrian Broner was supposed to be the next Floyd, and a lot of us saw that. But Adrian actually reminded me stylistically at 35 at his best more of James Toney than Floyd Mayweather. But no, I think Andre was more like Bernard Hopkins than he was Floyd. Devin, in movement and in style, more closely resembles Floyd to me than Andre. Not saying he's better than Andre. I'm saying he just more closely resembles Mayweather. Ward more closely resembled Bernard Hopkins to me. Ward was more like B-Hop. You got it, Brotherhood Sports. You probably said that before you even heard me say it on the stream. Deborah McClung, nice to see you. I'm late to the chat, but I'm here. 3 Pumps says, Lomachenko has seen it all. Haney is not bringing nothing new. I don't know. The other times that Lomachenko's seen this level of hand speed, a guy like Gary Russell, it was a featherweight, southpaw, small, short guy. Devin, orthodox, much bigger, tall. So I don't know if he's quite seen the package of Haney at this size yet. I think the closest style he's seen to it maybe is a Gary Russell. But Jorge Linares, and that was a tough fight for Lomachenko when Lomachenko was 5 years younger. Linares does have some of the qualities of Haney, the length and the speed. So maybe there's some similarities there. But Linares, different type of puncher than Haney, more of a combination puncher than Haney, and hits a little harder than Haney. But Devin, much harder to hit than Linares and a better jab than Linares. So we'll see. Let me see here. You got me. That's on the Ward Hopkins. Fire in my bones, my man. You said I agree. Ward and Hopkins are on my Mount Rushmore of overrated fighters. Man, Hopkins was incredible. Hopkins is the oldest world champion in boxing history. He was unified at 49 years old, and his crazy ass got in the ring with a prime Kovalev. He beat John Pascal at 46 and did push-ups to beat George Foreman's record. He doubled up George Foreman's record because he beat Foreman's record at 46, becoming lineal WBC against Pascal. Then he loses to Dawson, and then he beats up Tavares Cloud and Beibut Shumanov to become WBA IBF at 49 years old. And then he pieced up the well. I know those guys were smaller guys, Trinidad and De La Hoya, but he beat Glenn Johnson, he beat Antonio Tarver, he beat Winky Wright, he beat John Pascal, is the oldest champion in boxing history, regardless of weight class, 2 times over. So, nah, man, Bernard Hopkins ain't on the Mount Rushmore of overrated. Bernard Hopkins is the best middleweight of my lifetime, and I've been around since 1991. So, and then Ward was a great fighter too. Depends on who's rating him, but Ward is a legit great fighter. Ward is, one of the top 3 super middleweights in boxing history. I think it's Jones, Calzaghe, and Ward. So, I don't think those guys are overrated, but I do respect your opinion. So, said no, Ward lost to Kovalev for sure. I did score the first Kovalev fight for Kovalev. I was at that fight ringside, November 2016, and I do think Kovalev won that first fight, that 10th round where Kovalev kind of clearly won. He hurt Dre with a jab that round, and the judges all gave it to Ward anyways, and that was the 1-point difference. If they scored that 10th round correctly, Kovalev would have won that first fight and would be a borderline Hall of Famer right now. But Dre showed up for the rematch, twice the fighter. He dialed it up a couple of notches, showed up 100% better, and left no doubt as to who the better fighter was on their very best night. Dre on his bet, even if Kovalev, mentally, whatever, wasn't quite the same in the second fight as he was in fight number 2, feeling like he got robbed, that Kovalev in fight number 1 doesn't beat Ward from fight number 2. So yeah. But, Ward to me is an all-time great. Sonia Dumas said, Canelo's the only active fighter that's been in the ring 12 rounds with the pound-for-pound king, Floyd Mayweather. That's true, he was. And, got schooled that night, but, became a better fighter after that fight. And to me, Canelo's real peak, Canelo was in the beginning of his prime against Floyd Mayweather, but that peak was from the second Golovkin fight up until Caleb Plant. That was Canelo's peak. Can he reach that peak again this year? We'll see. But that was his peak. He lost to Floyd in his prime, but not at his peak. Not at his peak weight class. Not at his peak style. Learning how to fight and be slick on the front foot exclusively instead of doing that boxer puncher shit he was doing at 54. Yeah, not just me. Everyone saw that Ward lost that first fight, Gregory. He was not old, 36 and pound-for-pound king. No, Floyd was that was the best 154-pound version of Floyd that I ever saw, was the one that he fought against Canelo. The Floyd that fought Cotto at 54 had a tough fight. The Floyd that fought De La Hoya at 54 was a blown-up welterweight. He was a small guy. The Floyd that fought Canelo at 54 somehow at 36 had his legs that night, because Floyd's legs were kind of up and down in his 30s. They'd be there one fight, like Marquez, and then they'd be gone the next fight for Mosley, and gone the next fight for Ortiz, and gone the next fight for Cotto, and then back for Guerrero, and then back for Canelo, and then gone for the first Maidana fight, and then back for the second Maidana fight. So, but the 154-pound Floyd that fought Canelo, that was the best 154 Floyd by far. He had his legs, and he was so much physically stronger at the weight than he was, in 2007 against De La Hoya. So, Canelo ran into, I think that was one of the top 3 Floyds that I saw. Floyd against Gotti being number 1, Floyd against Corrales being number 2, and Floyd against Canelo being number 3. Those are the 3 best Floyds I've saw in his career. So we're in round 8 of Gonzalez and Vivas. Vivas has thrown 642 punches through 8 rounds to almost 440 for Joet Gonzalez. So just a crazy fight going down on the co-main. back and forth action. I knew it was going to go 10. I knew it was going to be a war. And so I just kind of want to rock with you, chat, before we really call this action live for Robeisy Ramirez and Dogboe for that WBO featherweight belt. Let me see. Yeah, everyone in the chat, hit the like button, please. We definitely appreciate that. Was Canelo Mayweather's best win to date? I think it very well may have been. Yeah, very well may have been. It's definitely along with Chico Corrales, Pacquiao, De La Hoya at 54. It's definitely in the running for. It's in the top 5, and I might put it number 1, considering even though Canelo, got a lot better after that fight, he was unified, he was undefeated, he was the best super welterweight in boxing, and he was top 10 pound for pound, and he was, naturally a stronger guy than Floyd, and so that might be Floyd's best win, yeah. So let's see. Brotherhood Sports says 135 version of Crawford versus Haney. Who wins, Sean? I'm going to give the edge to Crawford. Crawford with that punching power, able to equal a lot of the speed of Haney, but bring some of that power. So, look, Haney, when it's all said and done, is going to have the better reign at lightweight than Crawford, who beat Gamboa, who was a featherweight moving up, and beat Ricky Burns. Solid Scottish fighter, but not an elite world beater. Devin beating Linares and Diaz and also beating Gamboa. Ironically enough, an ancient Gamboa. Crawford beat Gamboa when he was in his prime, not in his prime weight class, but still in his prime. But I would have to give the edge to Crawford. He is brutal in the exchanges. Once both guys are opening up, he knows how to find the opening in those exchanges, and is a better puncher than Haney showed at lightweight. I would give the edge to Crawford in that fight. I actually, Clemenin said Crawford was different at 135. He was, but I actually think Crawford was better at 140 than at 135. 135, he went the distance with Ray Beltran. I didn't love that performance from Crawford, but at 140, he went the distance with Postal. That's actually the last time, almost 7 years ago, that Crawford went to the final bell. Crawford has not heard the final bell in any of his fights since 7 years ago. But I think Crawford at 140 was special. I think I got to put Crawford in my top 5 at 140. Off top, it's got to be in no order at 140. Aaron Pryor, Costa Tszyu, Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford, and Manny Pacquiao. Those are my top. I got to make it 6. Oscar De La Hoya. The Oscar that beat Chavez back in Caesar's Palace. So those are your top 6 140-pounders. I don't want to hear any arguments against it. I'll say it again. Bud Crawford, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Costa Tszyu, Oscar De La Hoya, and Aaron Pryor. That's your Fab 6 at 140 in boxing history, in my eyes. That's how I got it. Let me see. Postal underrated, says Ryan. Yeah, he was at 140 at that time. He had just beaten Matisse. He was good. Eric Bell, 135-pound version of Julio Cesar Chavez versus Haney. Now we're just being unfair to Haney because, we're asking to compare him to some of the great fighters in boxing history. I'd give the edge to Chavez, but it'd be a tough fight for Chavez. We know Haney's not as proven as Pernell Whitaker, but we know that even Roger Mayweather, before getting knocked out against Chavez, was piecing him up. So we know that fast, black American fighter is going to get off on Chavez, is going to piece him up. The question is, can Chavez walk through it and at some point his pressure, break the other guy down, like Meldrick Taylor, like Roger Mayweather, or will he get pieced up in the center of the ring for all 12, like Pernell Whitaker, or get beat like Freddie Norwood? Was it Freddie Norwood or Freddie Pendleton back in the day who beat, I think it was Freddie Pendleton or Frankie Pendleton who beat, Chavez in that first fight. So, but I would favor Chavez. But, kind of unfair to compare a 24-year-old kid to Julio Cesar Chavez. What's next? You're going to ask me Haney and Duran, Haney and Whitaker? Let's be a little fair to Devin here. You forgot Antonio Cervantes, who prior beat for the title, Eric Bell. I mean, shout out to Antonio Cervantes and even, guys like Josh Taylor, and there's been some great 140s, but I can't put Cervantes up there with those other guys I mentioned, the other 6. 135 Crawford versus Tank. Who would have won that one? I give the edge to Crawford. Crawford's longer than Tank, throws more punches than Tank, and I think can counterpunch. Is a better counterpuncher than Tank too. So I give the edge to Crawford. Margarito versus Jarrett Hurd at 154. I'm gonna give the edge to a prime Jarrett Hurd. I'm getting that Hurd that beat Lara and that stopped Tony Harrison. The Hurd, it was a short window, but that Hurd at 54 who had his chin and had his relentlessness, that style wasn't gonna last long. I would take that Jarrett Hurd because Antonio Margarito, as big as he was a welterweight. He wasn't a 154 pounder. So at 154, I'll take the slightly bigger. I'll take the black Antonio Margarito. I'll take Jarrett Hurd over Margarito because he was the 154. Margarito was the 147. Margarito almost 6 feet. Jarrett Hurd over 6 feet. I'd take Jarrett Hurd. 140 Mayweather versus Crawford. Mayweather. My man Zero Lou Ones asked 140. Who would have won? Mayweather. And again, we're just killing some time. It's round 9. Vivas and Vivas and Joet Gonzalez are going to war. They're heading into the last round. It's been a back and forth fight, but I've been enjoying talking with the chat, and then we'll lock in for main event time. But I would take Mayweather over Crawford at 40 because Mayweather was as fast as Crawford is. Mayweather's reflexes and speed were on an even different plane than someone extremely fast like Terrence Crawford. Mayweather was on the outside was much harder to hit than Crawford. Crawford's been touched in some of his fights. Mayweather at 140 around that Gotti fight was just otherworldly. And so you're talking about there's levels to this. You're talking about a great fighter in Terrence Crawford against one of the greatest fighters of a pound for pound in terms of a 140-pound Floyd. And that separation, I think, would have shown up. I would have had Mayweather winning a decision. I don't pick damn near anybody to beat. I mean, I wouldn't have picked Costa to beat Floyd at 40. I wouldn't have picked Manny to beat Floyd at 40. The only guys I'd have given a real run for Floyd at 40 would have been Aaron Pryor and Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya's size and power and speed would have gave him a good shot against Mayweather in their primes at 47 or at 40. Floyd beat a much bigger, rehydrated Oscar at 54, who still had a WBC belt. Oscar was still good, but wasn't in his peak, wasn't in his prime anymore, but was still good and dangerous when Floyd beat him, a much bigger man for the WBC belt. So yeah. Paul Williams versus Canelo. Well, if that fight would have happened when it was scheduled before Paul got in that accident, I think Canelo definitely would have beat Paul at that time. Interesting fight. I lean towards Canelo Alvarez even at Paul's best before the Martinez knockout because Paul liked to fight a lot and maybe a little bit too much for his own good. And Canelo would have had a guy in front of him who would have stayed there a little too long, and then maybe Canelo gets in some of those counter bombs in between all that activity and length of Williams. But Williams was at his most special to me at welterweight, in that Margarito fight. Williams was special that night, and he beat the boogeyman down there in Carson, California back in 2006. That was an amazing fight. Jimmy John asking, easy one first. Jorge Salvador's asking, Juan Manuel Marquez versus Arguello at 130, 135. I got Arguello. I just got Arguello. Taller, longer, the punching power. Marquez, shorter. He'll be on the end of the power of Arguello. Maybe a little out of range for some of his counter bombs. Great fight. I just think the length of Arguello, keeping Marquez on the end of his power, he'd have been able to take care of business. That would have been a war. Arguello, though. I got Arguello over Marquez at 30 and 35. But what was the other one I saw? Salvador Sanchez versus Floyd at 130. I got to give the edge to Floyd because Floyd was a bigger man, longer arms. Sal never fought at 130. Sal was, great at 126, never fought at 130. So, Floyd is arguably the best 130, along with guys like Camacho and a few others at 130 in boxing history. Sal never fought. I love Sal. I got Sal's photo behind me on my wall. You guys can't see it, but yeah, I got to give that to Floyd. And by the way, in case you guys think I'm just picking Floyd over everybody, I think Sugar Ray Leonard would have beaten Floyd at 147. I think Tommy Hearns would have beaten Floyd at 147. I think Floyd would have beaten Duran at 147, but Duran would have beaten Floyd at 135. So, there was one I missed here. What was it? Boo Boo and my man Jimmy John. Boo Boo versus Andrade at 68. I think you need to rephrase the question. Boo Boo versus they're the same person. Camacho versus Whitaker at 35. Whitaker. Camacho was so great at 130, so talented. But Camacho, like we saw, if he was met with resistance, not as mentally strong as Pernell Whitaker, not as good a jab as Pernell Whitaker. Relying on that speed without the jab as much, whereas Whitaker has the greatest southpaw jab that I've ever seen. I give it to Whitaker at 35. Alexis Arguello versus Whitaker at 35. Whitaker not letting him find the range. Whitaker being in and out, tough to hit. Still digging. Whitaker was a good body puncher. He'd take advantage of that tall frame. I'd give the edge to Sweet Pea at 35 over Arguello. I'm having fun with these, though. Sonia saying Canelo gonna beat Bivol. I promise you. I hear you, Sonia. I like Canelo, so we'll see if he can do it. I don't count him out. He's a great fighter. Does Sean Porter have the best 3-fight run of all time? Danny Garcia, Ugas, and Spence. Brotherhood Sports? No, not nearly all time, but a damn good run a great run in the modern era. Looks like Gonzalez was out. Oh man, Vivas. What did Vivas land here? 227 to 189. Lots of punches thrown. Let's see who gets the decision here between Vivas and Joet Gonzalez. I was busy talking with you guys, not scoring much, but at all. Both guys lumped up. Exactly the kind of fight I expected. A war, 10 rounds, back and forth. And we'll see who gets the decision. Joet Gonzalez, man, facing the crossroads where if he loses this fight, he's going to have to think of another profession eventually. And he's a damn good fighter, but if he keeps falling short at or near the top level, then here we go. Decision incoming. Let's hear what we get. Prime Trinidad versus Spence. 3 pumps, Trinidad. 99-91, sheesh. And 98-92. Looks like Gonzalez is going to get this decision. Joet Gonzalez, much needed win in a war. Based on CompuBox, he was actually outthrown and outlanded, but huge wide scorecards for him. His face is less marked up than Vivas, who looks like he was hit by, one or two, who looked like he was beat up tonight. So, that was a boring war, no accuracy, says Brotherhood Sports. Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to call it. So back to some fun stuff before we get to main event time, and then enough with the hypotheticals. We'll call the WBO featherweight title fight between Robeisy Ramirez and Isaac Dogboe. But some more. Let's see. Finito Lopez versus Chocolatito. Ooh. Finito's a better puncher than Chocolat. I'll give the edge to Chocolatito because of his activity, his constant swarming. Chocolatito going to get in there, and I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Jorge, I gotta watch me some Finito Lopez like right now, and then come back to you. Because I'm doing recency bias. The recency bias. Chocolatito's greatness has been much more recent than Ricardo 51-0 Finito Lopez's greatness was. He fought about 20 years ago. Lopez, I like his power over Chocolatito, but I don't know. Off top, Chocolatito is swarming, constant activity, and he has power too at 105, 108. But I might be being a little recency bias there. Azuma Nelson versus Tank at 135. Oof, that'd been a war because Azuma was a dog. I'm tempted to give the edge to Tank because Azuma's a little guy, But Azuma, even though he's aggressive and little, he was slick. It'd be hard for Tank to nail. I mean, Tank would hit him, but he'd be sliding the shot, and oof, that's a great fight. Azuma and Tank would have been a great fight. It's tough for me to pick, like, Azuma's a legit Hall of Famer. For me to just pick Tank is kind of disrespectful. I don't know. I'm gonna have to cap on that one. I'm gonna have to cop a plea, not answer that one. Have I ever seen boxing analysts asking, have I ever seen a referee get clipped in a fight? Yeah, about a couple of times, 3 or 4 times. There was a fight a couple years ago where the ref got hit with the left hook. It's always the left hook, but I've seen it a couple times. Prime Oscar versus Errol Spence, asked Daryl Cantrell. I'm going Oscar. Spence is a little basic at the elite level. He's so fundamentally sound and consistent and has such a great work rate and gas tank. So consistent to the body, and he has a great jab. So I'm not dissing him when I say that, but his hand speed isn't on the level of De La Hoya, and that'd be a great fight. Him and Spence would have been a good fight, but I just think those moments when Spence relies on the high guard and he covers up, and De La Hoya is able to do those flashy combinations that gets the crowd and screaming. Errol's just going to be covering up, and even though he'll be catching a lot of those, like Cuarte did against De La Hoya. But when you let De La Hoya tee off with the crowd goes, ah, and HBO starts calling it, and it gets the judges' attention. So I just think Spence with that high guard defense, the combos would look flashy whether they're landing or not. And then one of Spence's best attributes at welterweight is he's the size. He's a strong 5'10" welterweight. De La Hoya was 5'10" himself. It had a great jab just like Spence. And then, if Spence has been buzzed by someone like Ugas, I think the left hook of De La Hoya could really give him a problem. And even though Spence is heavy-handed, De La Hoya held up to the power of guys like Vargas and Trinidad and Cuarte. So I think that De La Hoya would hold up to whatever power Spence has. Now, the one problem for De La Hoya is how he faded late in fights. Spence comes on strong late in fights, so that could be a problem for De La Hoya, but I would give the edge to De La Hoya. I just think his speed was on another level from Spence. And even though Spence is more heavy-handed with both hands than Oscar didn't have a right hand, that left hook was more devastating than anything in Errol's arsenal. And you could land that left hook against the southpaw. And so I think De La Hoya would have beat Spence. That's just me. Spence versus Trinidad. Trinidad, I think, beat Spence at 47 as well. Trinidad was a monstrous, devastating puncher, and if Spence, Spence is a bulldozer. He likes to walk guys down. He could give you a little look here and there and be long and make you fall short and drop that lead hand a little bit. But for the most part, he's coming to get you behind that jab, dig into the body, and trying to fight like that against Trinidad, you're gonna get caught. And Trinidad's just not the kind of guy you get caught from. That's why Oscar De La Hoya was on his bike for 4 rounds when they fought, because he knew this ain't the guy to get caught against. So Trinidad. Shout out to my wife in the chat. Love you, babe. Samantha. My wife let me know. My parent-in-laws are watching back at my grandparent at her my parent-in-law's house. So I love you guys. Deborah McClung saying Spence comes on real strong. He does, and that could have been a problem for De La Hoya in the late rounds. Let me see here. Did Colbert win? To me, I didn't think it was a robbery. That last round was close, and depending how you score that last round, Rayo and Colbert, where I had it even going into that round, I know Rayo knocked him down. He buzzed him multiple times. Colbert never really hurt him. But Colbert fought some really good rounds there that Rayo wasn't as active, and Colbert got some beautiful work done in the center of the ring. And depending how you score that 10th round, where Chris Colbert won the first 2 minutes, 45 seconds, then got caught with a left hand in the last 15 seconds, got buzzed on the ropes. And if you think that was enough to swing the round Rayo's way, I kind of agree with you. I gave the fight to Rayo by a point. But if you felt Colbert won that 10th round, I could see him edging it out on the cards, because it don't just come down to who hurts the other guy. If I hurt you in 4 rounds and dropped you in one of them, and you just barely won those other 6 rounds, but you won them, then you win the fight. That's how the scoring goes. So that's kind of what happened there. Sonia, come on. Sonia saying, Sean, who do you got at 160? Canelo versus Spence. You're just trying to get your Canelo. You know, Spence has never fought above 47. Canelo was the middleweight champion. So of course I'm gonna. I mean, it's. I love you, Sonia, but you're trying to get your boy Canelo some hypothetical dubs. That's not fair. I don't think Canelo would have beat Bernard Hopkins at 160. You know, but yeah, I think he would have beat Spence. So. Scotty Olsen versus everybody else, motherfucker. He wins. Yeah, can't be a knockdown. Can't be a draw with the knockdown. Right. Weedy Gonzalez said he had it 5-5, but the knockdown gives Ryle the fight. That's how I scored it on Fight Night. But that 10th round, I have zero problems if you scored it for Colbert. And if you scored the 10th for Colbert, that means it's a point the other way. Someone asked that I boxed before. Some of you in the chat know that. I had my little short-lived couple of amateur fights. Yep. Had my little run. Very short-lived. Back in 2006, 2007. But who do I got in the main event? Asked Shannon Mays. Shannon, I definitely got Ramirez. I just think that, Dogboe, he's got to get in the phone booth. He's explosive once he gets in real close. But Ramirez is going to be walking him into a lot of left hands on the outside. And Salas really has him turning the corner in terms of sitting down on that left hand. He's throwing it like a pro now. He shed a lot of those amateur traits from being the gold medalist from Cuba, and he's fighting like a pro now. So I got Ramirez. Benavidez versus Badu Jack at 168. Who wins? That would have been a hell of a fight, Brotherhood Sports. That would have been a hell of a fight. I give the edge to Benavidez. He's just a little bit more talented in terms of speed, reflexes, and power. Badu Jack got some power, but he's a workman-like puncher, Benavidez isn't a one-punch puncher, but he's cracking harder than Badu Jack. I've seen them up close. He's cracking harder than Badu Jack. He's a little faster than Badu Jack. But Badu Jack might be a little smarter than David. He makes the most out of what he's got, whereas David still isn't fighting 100% to his potential. Like he didn't use the jab against Caleb Plant. Badu Jack will never get away from his jab, So that would have been a tough fight for David. I'll give the edge to Benavidez because he's a little more talented than Badu Jack, but Badu Jack might make up for that with brains and commitment, focus. He was he was a consistent body puncher. He didn't get away from his jab. He was a tough guy who had zero bitch in him whatsoever. Badu Jack's a dog and is actually almost a borderline Hall of Famer at this point, having beaten Makabu. But I just would have gave the edge to Benavidez. He's a little more talented, a little faster, punches a little harder, a little bit quicker reflexes, even though Badu Jack is going to hold his hands in a more disciplined manner than David. David sometimes will rely on those reflexes and get caught with his chin up at exposed sometimes. But I'd give the edge to Benavidez. Rodrigo, you got it. I was asking. Thank you for answering, Sean. That's why I love you. Happy I got to your question, Rodrigo. I'm sorry when I can't get to them. Jermel Charlo versus Winky Wright asked Dylan Morrisau. I'm going to go with Winky because based on what I saw Winky do against Jermaine Taylor, I think he could handle the power of Charlo and still walk him down. That would have been a tough fight, but Charlo, with the exception being that last fight, that Castano rematch, his activity could dip a little bit. He could let rounds get away from him. Winky was super consistent, fast, great, one of the best southpaw jabs I've ever seen, and then one of the all-time high guards. I think Winky could have won a decision, but Charlo's more talented than Winky. He's a more explosive, gifted athlete, punches harder, and he does that does make me hesitate in picking Winky Wright because I actually think Charlo's more talented than him. But Winky was fast and had that great jab, great work rate, and was actually a great pressure fighter, even though he wasn't a puncher. So I'd give the edge to Wink. Weedy Gonzalez says we in the Reggie chat now. What do you mean, Weedy? Put me on. What does that mean? Because Reggie usually means bad weed. So I hope you don't mean we're in the bad part of the chat now. I feel like the chat's cracking. We got hardcore boxing fans in the house. My man K Rick 99 hit me with the Floyd Mayweather versus Kid Gavilan. My man really taking it way back. I had to give the edge to Floyd, but Kid Gavilan was fast, great combination puncher at mid to close range. Maybe he out hustles Floyd a little bit back in the day, over 15 rounds. So I don't count Kid Gavilan out. That's an old school all time great. I'll give the edge to Mayweather, but I don't count Kid Gavilan out. Who can beat a prime Roy Jones in any era? Well, I don't think anybody beats him at super middleweight. Middleweight, he was green, so as freakish and as gifted as he was at middleweight, I think someone like Sugar Ray Robinson could have got him. But there ain't too many middleweights I pick because they can't match up with the physicality of Jones. He was big and strong at middleweight, and then so fast. It was just he was green. Super middleweight, no one beating Roy. Light heavyweight, Michael Moore, Bob Foster. Guys that kind of had what Antonio Tarver had. I know Roy coming down in weight and everything wasn't really Superman against Tarver, but guys like Michael Moore and Bob Foster were tall like Tarver. Hell, Moore was a southpaw like Tarver, but they were better than Tarver. And they were big guys. They were guys, Michael Moore was 6'2". Bob Foster was tall, 6'3", could really punch hard. Those guys might have beaten Roy at 75. Archie Moore at 75. So 75, it gets tougher for Roy against the elite of the elite in boxing history. But I don't think anyone touches him at 68. And then 60 is hard to talk about because he was green at 60. And then there aren't a lot of guys that can match up with the size of Roy Jones at 60. So yeah. Let's see here. Carl Froch would have got Roy. Brotherhood Sports is trolling. Brotherhood Sports is trolling. Brotherhood Sports is trolling Carl Froch over Roy Jones. Stop that. You know boxing too much. No Dulce's in here now. The regular chat, Reggie, is straight. Right. Oh, so we're good, Brotherhood Sports. Right. You saying this is the legit chat. No bruvs here now. They not true. No bruvs. No bruvs. Joshua, bruv. Yeah, work your levels, yeah. Eric Bell. Don't leave yet, Eric Bell. We just getting to main event time. Eric Bell, if you're out of here, great to see you, my man. Boxing analyst. Sean, would you consider becoming a sumo wrestler? No, now you're trolling me, boxing analyst. I think you see I'm at about $160. I'm a $165 soaking wet. So no sumo wrestling. Here comes Isaac Dogboe to the ring now. Coming to the ring. Here we go. What time is Ramirez versus Dogboe? It's here now. So check it in. Here we go. Almost 300 people in the chat. Not bad. We got the hardcores in the audience. My man Neho, Isaac Dogboe, rebuilt himself with Barry Hunter. Barry Hunter from the Headbangers Gym out there in the DMV area. Great trainer. Also, Boogie Harris, who was in Creed 3. Co-trainer with the Headbangers down there with Barry Hunter. Great pair of trainers. Great men, Barry Hunter and Boogie. And they got a big underdog tonight in Isaac Dogboe. But if I know Barry Hunter well, he believes in his man tonight. And so here is Dogboe talking himself up, jumping up and down in the ring. And we're set for Robeisy Ramirez, the 2016 gold medalist who beat our guy, Shakur Stevenson, in that 2016 gold medal match. But then lost that professional debut. But then he gets with Ishmael Salas. And Salas turns the corner with him, gets him sitting down on that left hand, throwing that left hand with bad intentions, not like an Olympian, but like a pro. And Ramirez has started to take off as a pro now, and he's a big favorite tonight. In my eyes, he may very well be the best featherweight in the world. It's a thin division. Guys like Valdez and Stevenson are long gone. Emmanuel Navarrete has moved up. But he may be the best featherweight in the world, and here he comes to the ring. And I don't know who this is. This looks like a fake-ass Cuban Cisco behind Robeisy Ramirez. I don't know who this man is. He looks like a fake-ass Cisco. He got a little bit more meat on his bones than Cisco, so I wouldn't say that to his face. But here, safely at home with you 300 lovely people, I will say the gold medalist is coming out with a fake-ass Cisco behind him. Here we go. Commentary time is right, you. You know it. So, main event time now. Let's get going. Ramirez, not from Florida, from the island itself, from Cuba, but with some Florida swag tonight, with the blue and pink Miami Vice themed colors. The Miami Heat sometimes rock those colors, and that's why he's coming to the ring, and he's grooving and feeling good with Mr. Fake Cisco rapping and grooving with him to his left. So Ramirez coming in with lots of confidence. Andre Ward said it's the Cuban arrogance, and he said it as a compliment. He said they show up like the fight is already won, like there is no way they could lose, with supreme confidence bordering on arrogance, and that is the swagger of the great Cuban Olympians in boxing. And here comes Ramirez now, the gold medalist, trying to become that world champion in the pros now. So many great Cuban fighters have won the gold medal and never had the opportunity Ramirez has before him tonight. Actually, very few of them have had that opportunity. So, world champions who lost their first pro fight: Henry Armstrong, Benny Leonard, the great Jewish lightweight champion, Juan Manuel Marquez, and brother Rafael Marquez, and of course, Bernard Hopkins. What a list of 5 guys, all Hall of Famers, all lost their first fight. Hammer and Hank Armstrong, the 3-division champion at one time. Benny Leonard, the great Jewish lightweight champion. Bernard Hopkins, the greatest middleweight of my lifetime, the oldest champion in boxing history. And the Marquez brothers, arguably the greatest set of brothers in boxing history, alongside people like the Klitschko brothers. But Ramirez trying to become, another one of those guys who lost that first fight and became a champion anyways. Tin Robot says, yo, when the fight? The fight is now. So here we go. Sean, that is a Cuba rapper. What's his name, Sonia? I was being funny. I was being a little funny. That's the guy who sings Who Let the Dogs Out. My bad, Brotherhood Sports. The fake-ass Baja Men. Not the fake-ass Cisco. In 2000, goddamn. In 2000, Brotherhood Sports, that was just the thing, huh? Iquarte got his hair dyed blonde for the Vargas fight. The Baja Men were rocking with blonde hair. Cisco had blonde hair. That was just the thing in the year 2000. The year 2000, Y2K. Good times. Simpler time. But tonight, April Fool's Day 2023, we get the vacant WBO featherweight title on the line between Ramirez and Dogboe. And we're set for ring introductions now, and then it's time to get going. Sonia Dumas, thank you for mentioning that. Ramirez won 2 gold medals, like Lomachenko, like Katie Taylor, like Clarissa Shields, 2-time gold medalists. Jack Hanma said, Gary Russell is the only 126 guy who's on Ramirez's level, in my opinion. I don't know if his career is over. Yeah, and Russell's seen better days. I don't pick Russell. I don't think of Russell as an elite fighter anymore. Not since losing to Mike Sayo. I know his arm was injured and all that, but that's just how I see it right now. Lomachenko lost his first... No. He didn't lose his first fight, David Friedman. He didn't. He lost his first title fight against Salido. He won his pro debut on the undercard, I think it was, of Bradley and Marquez. It was either Bradley and Marquez or it was Vargas and Pacquiao, but I'm pretty sure it was Bradley and Marquez. He made his pro debut, or it could have even been when Sergio Martinez fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It was a fight at the Thomas & Mack, and he stopped the guy with a body shot. And then his next fight, he tried to fight Salido and lost. So Lomachenko didn't lose his first fight, lost his first title fight. Say, asking me again, who do I got winning? I got Ramirez. I got the 8-1 favorite. I'm not going out on a limb here. I just think Dogboe, he's got to get in the phone booth where he's very explosive. But to get to that phone booth, Ramirez is going to be nailing him with left hands coming inside. So I got Ramirez. But you guys know I call it down the middle. If Dogboe comes out and starts wrecking and starts, getting on the inside and being explosive with combinations, then Dogboe is doing his thing. So, Rodrigo's saying, Sean, please tell the chat how pissed off you were with that motorcycle whizzing by the window. It was just that he was taking so long, and it was such a prolonged, loud roar. It was taking too goddamn long. So I just closed the window and called it a wrap. I learned my lesson. My window's closed right now. For like that South Park episode, them loud, what did they call them? Oh no, I can't say the word. For anyone who saw that South Park episode, what they called the motorcycle riders. I can't repeat it in 2023. Let them know what the word was in the chat. If any of you in the chat know that South Park episode. So, yeah, Rodrigo, I got you. The window is closed. So here we go. Both fighters now coming to the center of the ring for referee's instructions, and it's almost finally time to call a fight. Kweko Wemfaro said, Team Neho, do we got Ghana in the house? Is Ghana joining us in the house tonight? I got a lot of love for Ghana. I love Azuma Nelson, Iquarte, so got love for Ghana. Here we go. Both fighters center of the ring. Dogboe, intense in the stare down, knows he's being counted out tonight. Salas says the cup's too high. Some gamesmanship by Salas, and he's giddy in the corner. His fellow Cubano, his fellow defector from Cuba and Castro, so I should imagine they share a bond there. Dogboe crouching down in his corner, blessing himself with the cross, and we're getting set to get going here, baby. Nigeria is in the house. One Akachi Jennifer, shout out to Nigeria. Yep, Nigeria, gotta love Nigeria. A lot of the great African American fighters are of Nigerian descent, like Floyd. So shout out to Nigeria. Here we go, first round. What will Dogboe do? Can he get inside? Ramirez, southpaw stance. Dogboe, the shorter guy in the orthodox stance, and they both are starting with their jabs. Nice left hook, touching the guard of Ramirez by Dogboe. Nice sharp left hook, but Ramirez with the gloves up to catch it. So here we go, center of the ring. Dogboe lets the jab out again. Ramirez with the right glove up to block it. Ramirez taking little steps over to his left, trying to walk Dogboe into line of the left hand. Jabs to the body for Ramirez. Ramirez jabbing the body, dipping low. That bend feint that Tim Bradley talked about before the fight. Ramirez with this constant bend feint that since he got with Salas to set up the straight left hand. Shoots the straight left hand. Dogboe getting his hands up to block it. Dogboe, nice jab to the body. Dogboe not rushing his way to the inside to start this first minute. Fighting on the outside with Ramirez and catching well. Ramirez dipping down, tries a little touch right hook, but Dogboe with a sharp high guard catching it. Now Dogboe jabs, falls a little short. Ramirez touching with the straight left, touches with a jab, and then puts a straight left and touches Dogboe a little bit there through the center of the guard. Ramirez picks his hands up, steps forward to his left, taking little steps to his left, keeps trying to line Dogboe up for the left hand, stepping over his left. Nice uppercut by Dogboe, falls short and a straight right hand behind it. Now Ramirez dips down and swipes a left hand to the body. Good left hand to the body by Ramirez. Dogboe with quick hands trying to counter up top. Little over a minute left in this first round. Nice sweeping right hand to the body by Dogboe. Back comes with a sweeping left hand to the body by Ramirez. Sweeping it underneath the elbow, both fighters. Minute left in the round. Ramirez with a nice right hook at long range. Dogboe trying to measure with that lead hand and ate a little bit of a hook. Slapped him on the top of the side of the head. Not a lot of power on it by Ramirez, but he touched him. They trade jabs to the body, and Ramirez short with the straight left hand. Now Ramirez touches with the straight left hand to the body. Nice sweeping right hand to the body by Dogboe off the jab. Ramirez comes back with a right hook up top, but Dogboe with his hands up to block. Dogboe with a left uppercut. Touches through the center a little bit and then misses the straight right hand behind it. Now Ramirez trying to back Dogboe up a little bit, but Dogboe trying to hook and keep him off and cut distance again. Left uppercut by Dogboe, just a little bit off as he steps in. But that's a nice shot for him in round one. Now Dogboe measuring with the lead hand, touches the guard. Right hook to the body by Ramirez, but Dogboe comes back with combinations up top. Ramirez keeping the gloves up, but Dogboe responding with activity there, not just one at a time. 10 seconds left. Ramirez getting that sweeping left hand blocked up top by Dogboe. Dogboe and both fighters in the center of the ring. Dogboe blocking that straight left to the body, and it's a close first round for both fighters. Very close first round. Ramirez not terribly accurate on the outside. Dogboe did get in a couple body shots. Ramirez got in a couple body shots. Close round. Dogboe throwing with meaner intentions in round one. Some nasty uppercuts, but not a whole lot to choose from both fighters in round one. Maybe give the edge to Ramirez. I'll give the edge to Ramirez on the outside a little bit. He was able to touch with a right hook halfway through the round. Got in a sweeping left hand to the body, but Dogboe touched him a little bit himself. But 10-9 Ramirez. Not a dominant round by any means for the Cuban. Yeah. Deborah McClung says Ramirez. Weedy Gonzalez saying 50-50 round. So Here we go. Nice round. First round close. And on the replay, it's actually Dogboe. Yeah, oh, that left uppercut did land. That might have been Dogboe's round, guys, because I thought that left uppercut only grazed Ramirez, but on the slow-mo here on ESPN, that left uppercut knocked Ramirez's head up. That could very well be a 10-9 Dogboe round. Swing round in round one. Swing round. The replay actually favored total punches landed in the first round, 6 out of 30 for Ramirez, 5 out of 38 for Dogboe. Really nothing to choose from there. Now Dogboe getting Ramirez back on the ropes with a jab. Ramirez shooting a 1-2, but Dogboe with a tight high guard tonight. Dogboe getting his straight right hand blocked by the high guard of Ramirez. Dogboe stepping in with a jab, trying to close distance. Ramirez getting countered. Ramirez trying to reach down with a straight left to the body, and he gets his hands up in times, but those counter shots were explosive by Dogboe and rocked him around a little bit, even with the gloves up for Ramirez. Ramirez crouching down again, trying to set up that straight left hand, but Dogboe is very disciplined right now defensively with his own high guard. Dogboe stepping over to his left. Nice left uppercut to the body for Dogboe as both guys open up. Nice straight left hand to the body for Ramirez in the center of the ring. Nice response there. Minute into the second. They trade hooks to the body, and then Dogboe finishes off the exchange better. Finishes up with a left uppercut up top. Dogboe getting the better of that exchange. They both started to the body, but Dogboe finished up. Dogboe is concluding these exchanges more. He's letting his hands go in combination more. Ramirez looking for one shot at a time right now. Ramirez, nice jab. Shoots a jab, but Dogboe takes a step out of range. Now Dogboe catching the straight left hand down the pipe on his gloves well. Nice left uppercut by Ramirez. Split the guard a little bit that time. Dogboe coming back with a straight right hand. Dogboe trying to step in, getting countered a little bit by that sweeping left hand, trying to step in with his own right hand. Little more than a minute left in the round. Dogboe, high guard, trying to shift his weight around a little bit. Straight left hand falling short for Ramirez. Dogboe returning fire with a right hand up top that gets blocked, but he gets to the body of Ramirez with his left hand. Good. Oh, straight left hand countered by Ramirez, and he buzzes Dogboe. Dogboe didn't see that coming. Dogboe is hurt. Dogboe holds on. Straight left hand punching in between the punches of Dogboe. He didn't see that shot, and Ramirez is grinning, and now it's Ramirez with the momentum after that straight left hand buzzed Dogboe. Ramirez looking for just one punch at a time. Dogboe, more combinations, but he found the opening in between those combinations with that straight left hand. 40 seconds left in the second. Ramirez wildly off with a left uppercut. Dogboe trying to counter. Dogboe trying to step in and sweep the right hand to the body, but Ramirez catching it on the elbows that time. 30 seconds left. Straight left hand splits the guard for Robeisy Ramirez, getting through that center guard of Dogboe. Dogboe short with the jab. Dogboe center rings. High guard. Ramirez switching up the stances more. Dogboe relying on that high guard. Ramirez will dip down. He'll drop the lead hand a little bit. Then he'll pick it back up. Ramirez just off with that left uppercut. 5 seconds left in the round. Nice left hook to the body by Dogboe, and he blocks the sweeping left hand counter that time. He will have to keep his hand on the phone. You know, stay on the phone if you're Dogboe to catch that counter shot left hand. Good round for Ramirez. Definitely won the round off that straight left hand. Depending how you scored round one, it's either one round apiece, 19-19, or 20-18 Ramirez. So good stuff there. Yeah, the man said, I see FightHype is busy tonight, streaming 2 live fights at once. Right, I'm doing my round by round for the ESPN fight, and then we're streaming the Toscano fights, you know. So got your pick. If you want to watch some lower level live fights, you could go to that stream. If you want the title fight round by round, you hang out with me over here. So we got it all for you. On the slow-mo, that straight left hand landing for Ramirez and the left uppercut, keeping Dogboe out at range where Dogboe's short arms can't reply. Here we go, round 3 now. And Dogboe's got to counter off that pop shot that Ramirez is looking for. He's got to catch it and then come back with combinations. And that's something I think he's been working on with Barry. So 14 power shots out of 25, a 56% connected percentage for Ramirez in round 2 to just 7 shots landed for Dogboe. Here we go in the third. Dogboe measuring with his jab. Straight left hand to the body by Ramirez in response while he's trying to measure. Straight right hand by Dogboe. Ramirez getting underneath it in the center of the ring. Ramirez feinting, picking his hands up and down. Nice jab by Dogboe, catching Ramirez in between stances. Now Ramirez coming back with a sweeping left hand that moved Dogboe physically, but Dogboe got the glove up to block it. Center of the ring, both fighters here. Nice jab lands for Ramirez. Dogboe blocking the straight left hand after the jab. Dogboe short with the straight right hand. Steps in, tries to land a left hook and a right hook, but Ramirez catches it on the high guard and then comes back with two shots back on Dogboe's guard and then puts in that straight left hand down the middle. Nice right hand to the body by Dogboe, backing Ramirez onto the ropes and sweeping that right hand to the body and a left hook to the body. Ramirez keeping his elbows in tight, but good body work by Dogboe there. Solid start to the third for Dogboe. Here he is in the center of the ring, tries to jab his way in, and he sets up that sweeping right hand to the body again. Ramirez trying to just pop shot with the left hand. Dogboe finally lowering that lead hand a little bit, not just fighting out of the high guard, trying a couple of up jabs. Falling short with a nice up jab there by Dogboe. Dogboe wildly missing with a left hook to the body, way out of range that time. Ramirez, counter left uppercut, hitting the glove of Dogboe, but Dogboe just keeping his hands up. Didn't even see the counter, but that hand protected him. Now Ramirez, straight left hand, right hook, catching the gloves of Dogboe and moving off. Dogboe coming back with a nice right hand, backing him up on the ropes. Ramirez, nice short left uppercut on the inside. Ramirez changing the distances, being far out, then stepping in, straight left, or nice left uppercut, and then steps back out of range, using his length. Minute left in the round. Nice withering right hand to the body by Dogboe. Stepped in and sweeps that right hand to the body. Comes back with the left hook up top. Ramirez blocking the left hook up top, but ate that right hand to the body. Good third round right now. Dogboe getting countered with a sweeping left uppercut. Stepped in with his jab and had to eat that counter uppercut. Ramirez steps in with a nice jab. Tries to sweep the left hand behind that jab up top, but Dogboe getting the right hand up to block it. Dogboe, high guard. Ramirez feinting. Dogboe coming back to the body. Two good body shots by Dogboe. That's where he's had his best success this round, is to the body. He's got to stay there. Nice 1-2-1 through the center for Ramirez, but back comes Dogboe to the body. Investing back to the body, landing some hard body shots this round on Ramirez. Straight right hand falls a little short for Dogboe. Ramirez near the ropes, dropping his hand. Pause with the jab. Picks his hands back up. Falls short with the right hook and gets countered with a right hand to the body. Quick feet by Dogboe, closing the gap there, showing some explosiveness. And that does it for round 3. That was Dogboe's round. He invested to the body. Very good that round. And again, if Ramirez is just looking for the one shot at a time, Dogboe might be able to start figuring that out and catching it on the gloves and coming back with combinations. That was a good round by Dogboe. So I got it 2-1 either way, depending how you scored that first round. Second round was clearly Ramirez's when he buzzed Dogboe with that straight left hand. But outside of that, Dogboe has been the more active guy, has some good body work this round. And on the slow-mo replays, they showed Dogboe driving Ramirez into the ropes with a right hand. And so 2-1 either way, depending how you score that first round. Yep, Dogboe has got some dog in him, says Arthur Lampecia. Indeed he does. Jose got a 2-1 Dogboe. Mr. Vegas says you can't say Dogboe Zattel. I'm trying, man. That's how you say his name, right? Dogboe, or is it Dogboe? So I like Dogboe. Always have. Liked him when he beat my man Jesse Magdaleno, and I came up with Jesse Magdaleno, so I was impressed when he stopped him. Here we go, round 4. Ramirez starting with a double jab and a straight left hand, but Dogboe, good high guard tonight, comes back with his own right hand in response. Ramirez touching with the jab at long range. Dogboe steps in with an explosive left uppercut, straight right hand combo, but Ramirez getting his head off the line. Straight left hand to the body for Ramirez, but Dogboe backs him into the corner, digs a hard left hook to the body and a right hand to the body. Left uppercut blocked by Ramirez, but that left uppercut is coming with heat from Dogboe. Oh, they trade, and Dogboe catches and shoots a nice right hand. Ramirez letting go of his hands in combination, but he got countered. Ramirez countered with a straight right hand again by the high guard of Dogboe, catching. Now Ramirez opening up and catching a right hook on Dogboe in the exchange. Ramirez opening up with combinations here in the 4th round instead of the pop shots, but he actually got countered by 2 sharp right hands by Dogboe out of the high guard. Now Ramirez back. It looks like Ramirez is starting to respect what's coming back his way now and knows he's in a fight. Dogboe backing Ramirez up, banging away against the gloves with right hands, starting to get into the range that he likes. We got to fight. We got to fight in round 4. Ramirez feinting out of the southpaw stance. Dipping down, as Salas has gotten him learning, then picks his hands back up. Dogboe, patient and smart tonight with a good high guard. Steps in behind the jab, sweeps the right hand to the body, backs Ramirez into the ropes halfway through the 4th round. Dogboe winning this round right now. Halfway through it, Ramirez dipping down again, shoots the jab out of that crouch and lands it. Nice jab there by Ramirez and doubles it up after that. Ramirez picking the hands up, coming forward, inching forward towards Dogboe. Dogboe trying to trap him, trying to walk him into close range where Ramirez doesn't really want to be. It's a game of ring generalship from the Ghanaian and the Cuban. Seeing the Ghanaian school of boxing mixed with the American school of boxing. Nice sweeping right hand, sets up a left hook to the body for Dogboe, and he backs Ramirez onto the ropes and gives him some good body shots. Ramirez trying to respond with just one shot at a time. Referee breaking them apart, and they're back in it. 45 seconds left in the round. Dogboe ahead in this round. Dogboe, nice right hand to the body, making Ramirez back up in a straight line off the jab. Dogboe getting off more active, even when Ramirez gets the gloves up. Dogboe is punching in combination. Now Ramirez steps in with the jab, lands that jab. Doesn't quite get in the straight left behind it, though. 30 seconds left in the round. Dogboe having a good round. Dogboe short with his jab, gets countered by the jab on the outside, but Ramirez is going to need more than that to get this round back in his favor. Ramirez short with the jab. Dogboe being a little more rangy than he thought. Short with his jab again. 10 seconds left. Double jab by Dogboe. Falls short. Ooh, sweeping left hand by Robeisy. Changed levels, eye levels, and then sweep the left hand. And then a left uppercut near the bell for Robeisy. Not enough to steal the round on my card. I gave that round to Dogboe. So it's either 38-38 on my card or 39-37 Dogboe, depending on how you scored round number 1. But we have got a fight. And now we almost got 500 people in the chat because the fight's heating up. But Isaac Dogboe, an 8-1 underdog tonight, is in this thing. It's either even on my card or I actually got him ahead, 39-37. Let's take a look at this replay from ESPN. And it's a left uppercut by Robeisy getting caught. And then Dogboe, that's that Barry Hunter. Dogboe catching the left uppercut on the glove and then sweeping with a right hook, catch and shoot, bang! And he nailed Robeisy Ramirez with his own back on the ropes. Beautiful catch and shoot there by Isaac Dogboe. Compliments of the Barry Hunter Headbangers camp right there. So 2-2 or 3-1 Dogboe. Depending how you score that first. Here we go, round 5. And we got a good one heating up now. Round 5 and they begin. Both guys starting with the jab. Touching the high guard. Power punches last round. 15 for Ramirez to just 9 for Dogboe. I didn't see it that way. I felt Dogboe won that round. Copy box is not always gospel. Now Dogboe stepping inside and Ramirez complaining of a headbutt as Dogboe steps in behind his right hand and gets in a nice left hook to the body with Ramirez along the ropes. Dogboe stepping in again, sweeping the right hand to the body, finishing with the left hook up top, punching in combination when he steps in. Ramirez looking for one at a time. Ramirez starting to look a little more less, arrogant and less cocky in there. Knows he's in a tough fight now. Dogboe stepping in behind the double jab, misses the right hand. He's got to be careful. Ramirez dropping that lead hand, then picking it back up. Tries to shoot off the jab, but he's having a hard time finding the range against Dogboe. Dogboe is suckering him in and then punching when he's trying to pull straight out. Minute into the 5th, and Dogboe with a slight advantage to start the 5th round. Dogboe is southpaw now. He has switched southpaw with the southpaw. Nice jab there by Robeisy Ramirez, and that's going to make Dogboe switch back. Dogboe catching the left uppercut on the glove that time. Unofficial scorecard by ESPN, they got it all even, 38-38. Dogboe getting a little bit neutralized on the outside right now, falling short with his punches. Ramirez slowing the pace down here in the middle of the round. Nice 2 jab stabs to the body by Ramirez. Dogboe trying to stab back to the body, falling a little more short than the longer, rangier Ramirez. Ramirez sets up a nice straight left hand down the pipe, threw the right hook as a decoy, and then shot the straight left hand behind it. Nice shot by Ramirez. Now Ramirez, straight left hand, touches with the right hand, straight left hand again, splitting the guard of Dogboe in the center of the ring. 1-2, 1-2, sets up a right hook around the guard of Dogboe in the center of the ring for Ramirez. Good work. Shooting off 2 1-2s and then finishing with the right hook. Using more combination punching that time instead of looking for the one pop shot on Dogboe. Dogboe's waiting on that pop shot tonight. Defense has been sound. Ramirez with a good last minute here in the 5th. Dogboe trying to step in, falls short, eats a sweeping left hand as he tries to get in. Ramirez backed up on the ropes, dips underneath the right hand this time. But then a hard left hook to the body near the ropes for Isaac Dogboe. Nice left hook to the body. 30 seconds left in the round. Ramirez dipping underneath, misses with the left uppercut, trying to walk Dogboe into it again. Dogboe stepping forward with a right hand to the body, falls short with it. Ramirez not able to counter with that straight left hand. Ramirez touching with a straight left hand, backing straight up away from the right hand counter of Dogboe. Dogboe stepping in with a sweeping right hand, gets Ramirez into the corner and finishes hard with combinations. Nice finish to the round here by Dogboe, finishing with hard sweeping body shots and then finishing up top with combinations. Good close to the 5th round for Dogboe, but maybe a Ramirez round. Close round. First minute of the round was Dogboe. Then from the next minute and a half, Ramirez controlled distance on the outside, stabbed on the outside better than Dogboe. But then Dogboe with a nice explosion there to close round 5. A close round. I feel like Ramirez is probably going to edge it. So 48-47, one way or the other between Dogboe and Ramirez. Close fight. Some close rounds. 5th round was pretty close. 1st round was close. 2nd round was definitely Ramirez. I felt the 3rd and 4th rounds were Dogboe's. So here we go. 48-47, either way, guys. Close fight to call right now. Got about 550 people rocking with us in the chat. That's awesome. I didn't expect this many for the hardcores. So here we go. Swing round. Definitely swing round. Brotherhood Sports says 4-1 Dogboe. He's definitely not fighting like an 8-1 underdog. Here we go, round 6. Ramirez starting with 2 jabs. Dogboe keeping his hands up, looking to close a little distance. Total power punches through 5 rounds. 62 out of 192 for Ramirez. 43 out of 242 for Dogboe. So CompuBox sees Dogboe the more active fighter, but not as accurate. I think they're being a little tough on his accuracy. Oh, withering right hand in the middle of Robeisy Ramirez's punches. They exchanged in the center of the ring, and Ramirez got buzzed by a right hand by Dogboe. Dogboe landing another straight right hand. Ramirez says, come on. But that right hand buzzed him. Now Ramirez with a left uppercut, and then he punches in combination, and now he's buzzed Dogboe a little bit with a straight left hand through the guard. Dogboe keeping his hands up, trying to catch punches, but still having a bit of an effect. Left hook to the body by Dogboe, getting back in range now. Trying to sweep the right hand, but Robeisy blocking that right hand up top. Then a straight right hand trying to split the guard for Dogboe. Dogboe stepping forward behind his lead hand, missing a left uppercut now. Minute into the 6th round. But those were 2 hard right hands by Dogboe that got Ramirez's attention early in the round. Ramirez did return fire and landed some good left hands back, but I think Dogboe got the harder shots in that sequence. Over a minute left, or a minute and a half left in this 6th round. Ramirez dipping down, trying to change levels again, but Dogboe has been scouting him well. He's well prepared. Halfway through the round, Ramirez dipping down again, dropping both hands. Dogboe steps in with a jab and 2 straight right hands, and the hand speed's good enough to touch Ramirez a little bit, keeping his hands down. Now a sweeping right hand to the body and a left hook up top, and Ramirez is catching some of these shots for sure, but some of them are getting underneath the elbow into the body. Ramirez jabbing up top, Dogboe catching it. Dogboe more active. CompuBox has him out throwing Ramirez, not outlanding him, but I think CompuBox hasn't given him enough credit. Minute left in the 6th. Dogboe ahead in this round. More active, landing more shots. Oh, they exchanged in the center of the ring, and Ramirez touching Dogboe, knocking him back with a jab, but Dogboe returning fire with a straight right hand. Nice straight left hand, and then touch right hand by Ramirez in the center of the ring, touching up Dogboe. Now Dogboe getting in on the inside. Oh, left hook to the body, but he got countered by a left by Ramirez. He touched Ramirez with a beautiful left hook to the body and a right hand up top, but he got countered and buzzed. Now a 1-2 through the center by Ramirez, but Dogboe still coming forward, being a little buzzed. 30 seconds left in the 6th. Dogboe sweeping a right hand over the top. Ramirez catching it. Both guys have been buzzed in the 6th round. Oh, straight left hand down the pipe by Ramirez lands as Dogboe off the mark with his straight right hand. Walks into his straight left hand to Ramirez again. Ramirez closing the round strong. Right hook gets blocked by Ramirez by Dogboe. Now straight right hand through the center. Lands for Dogboe in the center of the ring. Great round. Oh, sweeping left hand lands for Ramirez. Ramirez finishing with a combination at the bell. That might get it for Ramirez. Dogboe had that round. And in that last minute there, the judges tend to favor who won the last minute over the first minute. I think Dogboe may have let that 6th round get away from him. He was landing some really good shots. That was a hell of a round for both guys. This fight, to me, should be even through 6. I get the sense that the judges may give the benefit of the doubt right now to Ramirez, but it could be either way. I got this fight even through 6 rounds. It's 57-57. Hell of a round. We got almost 700 people watching now. Gerardo Morales says Ramirez up. It might be. He might be. I do feel like if anyone's got the 58-56, it would probably be Ramirez. He is the A side. But to me, this fight's even through 6. And you could make an argument for Dogboe that he's the one up 58-56. It has been some tough rounds to score. I think it's only fair that we just got it even right now. Yeah, real close. Real close. Got some Nejos going on in the chat. Weedy Gonzalez, super close, right, my brother? All right, round 7. Last round. CompuBox is favoring Ramirez. 21 landed shots for Ramirez to 13 for Dogboe. So Ramirez is distancing himself right now, according to CompuBox. But CompuBox isn't always gospel. Here we are in the 7th. Dogboe stepping in, trying to sweep a right hand up top. Touches a little bit with it. Ramirez just off with a counter left uppercut. Dogboe stepping in, sweeping his shots. Right hook up top, left hook to the body. He's doing a good job throwing his hooks and switching levels and being explosive with it. Ramirez doing a good job catching most of them. But some of those shots are sneaking in and getting underneath the elbows to the body too. Dogboe backing Ramirez up with 1-2s, but then eats a left uppercut to the body. Ramirez resetting in the center of the ring after touching him with that left uppercut to the body. Ramirez dipping down, trying to slow this pace down and get relaxed and pick his shots. Dogboe with a nice sweep, with a nice right hand. Ramirez says, come on. They're landing at the same time at times. At times, Ramirez is landing his counter and eating the right hand at the same time, and that just happened there, here in the 7th. Ramirez dropping the hand, shooting the jab out of there. Dogboe back with a jab up top, gets it blocked. Right hand to the body blocked. Keeps trying to sweep it under that elbow. Ramirez gets his sweeping left hand blocked up top by the high guard of Dogboe halfway through the 7th. Ramirez inching forward. Dogboe stepping over to his left. Misses a straight right hand, trying to step over to his left. Nice jab to the body by Dogboe. Feinted it up top and stabbed to the body. Ramirez making Dogboe reach with a right hand to the body. Straight right hand. Fell short with it. Ramirez not letting his hands go here a lot here in the middle of the 7th. Trying to pick the shot. Dogboe is at least being a little more active. Ramirez placing that pop shot, but Dogboe with the right glove to keeping it up to protect himself. Even when he doesn't even see the shot, sometimes that right glove is there where it needs to be to catch it. Ramirez just looking for one shot at a time. Dogboe switches southpaw, comes in with a left-right to the body, working his hands, bangs against the gloves of Ramirez. Ramirez says, come on, that's not landing, but it's activity by Dogboe. 40 seconds left in the round. Ramirez touching with a jab. Dogboe, southpaw right now. 2 jabs, touching the guard of Ramirez. Dogboe still a southpaw, trying to jab to the body as Ramirez jabs up top. Now he steps in with a left hand over the top. Ramirez is catching these shots a lot right now this round, but he's not getting off a whole lot. Left uppercut blocked by Ramirez, but again, not getting off. He touches Dogboe with an accurate jab there. Gets his right hook blocked off that jab. Trying to walk Dogboe into the counter. Sometimes Dogboe comes in with that head down. Nice right hook by Ramirez as he freezes Dogboe in the high guard for a second there. 5 seconds left. Dogboe was the more active fighter this round, though. He wanted it more. Ramirez finishing off nicely, though. Missing with his jab, but sweeping the left hand, knocking Dogboe a little bit off balance. Not a good conclusion to the round for Dogboe, those last 2 rounds, but I felt like Dogboe won that 7th round. I'm not going to give it to Ramirez, who hardly threw for over a minute and just looking for one shot at a time. Dogboe, yes, he's hitting the gloves a lot, but he was being active and got in some body work. I gave that round to Dogboe, round 7. So just more active. On my card, I have Dogboe ahead 67-66. Now, CompuBox and all probably has Ramirez, winning this fight, but yeah, Ramirez to me is getting out hustled there in the 7th round. Dogboe showing he wants it more with his effort. You don't score rounds on effort, but he let his hands go more, and those pop shots by Ramirez were too far and infrequent to have taken the round. So I gave that round to Dogboe. It is a tough fight to call, Weedy Gonzalez. It is a tough fight to call. Fred Anate said, Team Ghana, we are here. I got a 67-66 Dogboe. ESPN commentary is wild, says Air Benacourt. Yeah, I'm sure they're calling it wider for Ramirez than it really is. I don't know. Is that what they're doing? 101 out of 286 for Ramirez to 68 out of 355 for Dogboe. So Dogboe has thrown about 70 or 80 more shots, and I think he's landed more than just 68. So yeah, here we go in round 8. Dogboe stepping in with a right hand, gets it blocked behind the jab. Ramirez stepping out of range, though, not staying in range to counter. Nice jab to the body by Ramirez. But nice counter left uppercut by Ramirez, countering as Dogboe tried to step in with his own left uppercut. Nice left hook to the body by Dogboe back, though, and then trying to throw that uppercut up top off the hook. Ramirez trying to walk him into that pop shot, but Neho with good head movement and comes back with his own right hand and misses. Both guys showing their skills in the center of the ring throughout the fight. Ramirez a little bit more accurate than Dogboe to start round 8, though, in the first minute. Just touching Dogboe. Dogboe missing in that first minute. Got in a good left hook of the body. Nice jab by Ramirez, and then he stepped off and gave the angle and touched with the left hand of the body. And ESPN has this 5 rounds to 2 for Robeisy Ramirez. And I get it. His body language makes it look like he's in control. Nice jab there by Ramirez in the center of the ring. He made Dogboe fall short. Now Dogboe lands his jab as he steps in there, but can't get in any power shots over it. I disagree with the ESPN card. I got it closer. I think it's 4 rounds to 3 either way. I don't see it 5 to 2 for Ramirez. Nice straight left hand by Ramirez, who is keeping Dogboe on the end of his length here in the 8th. Dogboe is falling short, and he's getting touched up on the outside here by Ramirez. So Ramirez is winning this 8th round. Touches Dogboe, walks back into a straight line, and catches Dogboe's right hand. Ramirez, nice jab, nice up jab for Ramirez, and then he steps out of range with his hands down at his side and makes Dogboe hit nothing but air with the right hand in response to eating that jab. Minute left in the 8th. Ramirez winning this round on the outside. Ramirez dipping down, trying to set up those feints to set something up top. Ramirez using the jab, backs Dogboe up. Dogboe a little more tired in the 8th. Not as much snap on that 1-2, falling short. Nice straight left hand at long range by Robeisy Ramirez. Then a straight left hand to the body by Robeisy Ramirez in the center of the ring. Dogboe slow on the counter. Dogboe getting beat to the punch on the outside right now, getting kept on no man's land by the longer arms of Ramirez, who is slowing that pace down to round 8, landing that jab. Ramirez getting the jab going in the 8th. He's been touching him with that southpaw jab at long range. Dogboe trying to counter with the right uppercut off of Ramirez's jab, but Ramirez gets the gloves up to block at that time. Ramirez looking comfortable and confident again in round 8, like he's regaining control of the fight. And he definitely won that round. Dogboe couldn't find the mark, was kept on the outside. Round 8 to Ramirez for sure. I got it even after 8. Could see the fight 77-75 for Ramirez, but I got the fight 76-76 right now. And not like ESPN, who's starting to get it wide for Ramirez right now. I gave some of those rounds they gave to Ramirez to Dogboe. Felt like, some of that activity was scoring more than CopyBox gave him credit for. So 4-4 right now. Got it 4-4 right now. All even through 8. So here we go. Championship rounds coming up. Yep, 76-76 on the official FightHype Live card. Thank you all 600 of you rocking with us right now. Thank you, man. We were up at 700, but 100 people left. They said, I don't love boxing that much to stay up at past midnight to listen to a round by round of Ramirez and Dogboe, but you lovely people do love boxing that much and are here for this. So shout out to you. Here we go. Round 9 now. Dogboe starting off on the front foot after letting that round get away from him, and he's trying to bang away to the body in combination. Good defense by Ramirez along the ropes, but good activity there by Dogboe to start round 9. Ramirez getting a straight left hand blocked at long range. Ramirez has got the fight more at long range now. He's established better distance on the outside. Dogboe trying to find his way in, fighting with more intensity than he did in the 8th. Trying to jab his way in, sweeps a right uppercut, but Ramirez getting out of the way of it. Ramirez trying to walk him into a straight left hand. Dogboe sweeping an uppercut to the body and then banging away on the gloves up top by Ramirez. Ramirez, places a beautiful little straight left hand in between Dogboe's punches in the center of the ring. That's that one pop shot. Now Dogboe getting his 1-2 block. Oh, straight left hand by Ramirez. Dogboe trying to jump in behind his jab and ate that straight left hand and made his legs act up a little bit. Dogboe showing the heart, punching right after eating it. But that left hand has got Ramirez in control of the 9th round right now, based off that shot. And Ramirez is settled down again, looks a lot more comfortable than he did earlier in the fight. Oh, nice straight left hand down the pipe, sets up a right hook, sneaking around the guard of Isaac Dogboe, the high guard. Dogboe beginning to get touched up now in the 9th. Dogboe getting his jab blocked and his left uppercut falling short. Ramirez doing a better job keeping him on the end of his length in the center of the ring now. Dogboe getting touched up on the outside. 1-2 splitting the guard. Dogboe trying to cut the distance. Nice left hook to the body by Dogboe, but he can't land anything up top right now. Ramirez is catching everything up top. Nice touch right hook by Ramirez. Nice right uppercut to the body by Dogboe when Ramirez thought the exchange was over. In the center of the ring, Dogboe falling short with his jab, trying to step to the outside of that lead foot of Ramirez. Ramirez jabbing him, keeping him at bay in the center of the ring, keeping him on the end. Ramirez picks his gloves up, drops him back down, walks Dogboe into a jab, and then backs away with that chin up, but gets away from it. Being the longer guy, straight left hand lands for Ramirez. 45 seconds left. Dogboe a little more tired on his punches and falling forward with his shots a little bit now in response, instead of, keeping his feet underneath him and getting in the right distance and not reaching. Ramirez beginning to make Dogboe reach now when he's trying to respond to Ramirez's landed shots on the outside. Nice jab again by Ramirez, walking Dogboe into it, timing Dogboe, trying to cut the distance, and nailed him with a jab on his way in. Straight left hand touches for Ramirez through the center again. This has been another Ramirez round. He's made some nice adjustments these last couple rounds and slowed the fight down instead of allowing it to continue to speed up like it was in the 6th and in the 5th. And that's it for round 9. Ramirez ahead on my card now, 86-85. I've got him winning the last 3 rounds. Ramirez in control now. Dogboe going to have to find something here. Going to have to find a way to get on the inside, but all his shots up top are getting blocked. He's still getting some nice body work in at times, but Ramirez began to walk him into that left hand, and Ramirez the last 2 rounds has gotten the jab going, keeping Dogboe on the end of it. Not very active with it, but accurate. Good jab. Nice right hook by Ramirez on the slow-mo replay, and that was just a good round for Ramirez. So 86-85 Ramirez on my card. ESPN's got it wider than that. They've got Ramirez pulling away at this point. 3 rounds left for Robeisy Ramirez. We'll see if Dogboe got another gear in him. Looks like he was starting to run out of answers and couldn't keep up with some of the adjustments in the length and the ranginess of Ramirez in the center of the ring. We'll see. Round 10. Ramirez starting with a lead right hook. CompuBox has 123 landed shots for Ramirez to 84 for Isaac Dogboe, who has thrown 450 shots to just 360 for Ramirez. But Ramirez, as this fight has progressed the last few rounds, is beginning to pop shot and touch him up. Nice left uppercut by Dogboe, sets up a hard right hand to the body. The left uppercut was blocked, but it did set up that right hand to the body. Dogboe getting inside, trying to crash through, bang away on the gloves, and still get to underneath the elbows to the body on the inside. Good activity by Dogboe to start round 10. Double left hook or double right hook by Dogboe, double right hook by Ramirez, and they both block each other's best shots there. Dogboe getting inside, getting his shots blocked a lot more as this fight continued. Getting his shots blocked up top, but punching in combinations. Left uppercut gets blocked. Right hand of the body falls short after that left uppercut gets blocked, but he's throwing. He's throwing to start. Ramirez is taking his time and trying to place the shot. Barry Hunter is vehement ringside, trying to will his man through this round and keep him in the championship hunt. Straight right hand lands for Isaac Dogboe. At center, at long range, backs Ramirez into the ropes. Ramirez catches what's coming back. Ramirez just trying to win this fight one punch at a time, and Barry Hunter wants Dogboe to make it a dog fight and just keep throwing. Be relentless. Barry is banging on the corner. Keep throwing, keep throwing. Good left hook to the body by Dogboe. He's halfway through the 10th, and he is ahead because Ramirez isn't throwing anything, but you get the sense that Ramirez is lulling him to sleep, trying to walk him into a shot at some point. Dogboe, so far, though, is carrying the round. Not super... Oh, nice double jab. Sets up a straight left hand that splits the guard for Ramirez. Ramirez with the best punch right there just by splitting that straight left hand through the guard. But that was it. Dogboe back on top of him. Not landing, but letting his hands go. Falling short with a 1-2-3. Almost fell to his knees, missing with that left hook to the body, did Dogboe. Reaching with it. Minute left in the round. Dogboe's got a chance to win it still because Ramirez is not letting his hands go a lot. Nice left hand by Ramirez, though. The right hook was blocked by Dogboe, but it set up the straight left hand. But back comes Dogboe, getting Ramirez into the corner, and then a body shot sets up a nice right uppercut off the right hand to the body for Dogboe. Dogboe still in the fight. Catching the 1-2-3 on the high guard by Ramirez, blocking Ramirez's shot, stepping in, letting his hands go. Ramirez blocking what's coming forward, but Ramirez a little more uncomfortable this round. They trade jabs, and Ramirez knocks Dogboe back with a straight left hand off their exchange of the jabs. But Dogboe getting that hand up to block it a little bit, but it still knocked him back. Dogboe stepping inside, letting his hands go. Ramirez finishing the round, touching the gloves of Dogboe. Dogboe banging away on the gloves back. Ramirez a little more accurate in that exchange. 5 seconds left in the 10th. Oh, Ramirez a little more accurate to finish the round. Maybe Dogboe letting a opportunity to get away from him. That's it for the 10th. I gave the round to Dogboe. And I don't know if judges will give it to him because he's not that accurate, but he outworked Ramirez that round, and he did hit Ramirez with a right uppercut, and he did hit him with some body shots. You know, ESPN would think I'm crazy because they got Ramirez pulling away. I got this fight even. I think Ramirez hasn't been consistent in some of these rounds. I thought he won the 3 rounds right before that last round, but Ramirez not letting his hands go a lot in the 10th, and I gave it to Dogboe. Nice jab for Ramirez, straight left hand, splits the guard, and a right hook. But that was it. That was it throughout the round. Dogboe got some shots in too. Double jab by Ramirez on the slow-mo, triple jab. Ramirez, straight left hand, and that may very well have gotten the round for Ramirez. Even, because he may have thrown a lot less shots, but he was more accurate than Dogboe. But Dogboe got in a right uppercut too that they're not showing on the replay. He got in some body shots that they're not giving him credit for on the replays. I'm giving Dogboe a little more credit than I think CompuBox and the telecast is giving him. I got it even on my own card. So here we go, round 11. Dogboe dipping underneath the right hook, trying to close the gap. Bangs away with a left hook on top of the guard, and Ramirez says, come on, that's not landing. Ramirez touches him with a straight left right after that. Ramirez keeps holding his gloves up, saying that's not landing, and a lot of times he is catching it, but sometimes it is splitting, and some of those body shots are getting underneath his elbows, and I'm giving Dogboe credit for those body shots. Dogboe stepping in behind his jab, sweeps a right hand, Ramirez blocking it well, but getting backed up. Dogboe trying to sweep some uppercuts to the body and up top. A good defense by Ramirez in close. Dogboe stepping up, driving Ramirez onto the ropes, trying to bust through that guard with hooks. And Ramirez with a good high guard on the ropes, but Dogboe letting his presence be felt along the ropes with combinations. Minute into the 11th. Dogboe got his foot on the gas more. Ramirez more accurate, but not as active. Dogboe stepping in with a jab and a right uppercut behind it. Ramirez blocks it, and then he makes him fall short. 1-2 down the pipe for Ramirez, touching Dogboe, but not with full force on those shots. Ramirez a little winded in the 11th. Crowd is standing up on their feet in Oklahoma. They know it's the crowd thinks like me. It's a close fight down the stretch. They don't see Ramirez pulling away. Nice jab for Ramirez. Sets up a left hand that Dogboe did not see at long range. He sweeped it in a little bit there. Snuck it in after that long jab for Ramirez. Ramirez missing the right hook to the body. Dogboe coming back with a jab up top. Ramirez touching with the jab. Dogboe trying to close the distance. Ramirez getting his sweeping left hand, falling short, but then he makes Neho miss a big left hook, hitting nothing but air. Little over a minute in the round. Ramirez has been more accurate. But Dogboe has taken the fight to him. Nice jab by Ramirez. Touches Dogboe on the outside. Dogboe missing, falling short with his shots on the outside. Nice 1-2 by Ramirez. Stepped in, landed the jab, and then touched with the left hand. 1-2 on the outside again for Ramirez. Dogboe getting a straight right hand blocked. 45 seconds left in the round. Dogboe going to the body. 2 or 3 body shots. Ramirez stepping out of range back into the center of the ring, trying to pop shot him, but Dogboe smothers that pop shot. Dogboe got to land something here in the last 30 seconds. Nice jab by Ramirez, and then he steps back out of range to reset. Ramirez probably going to get this round on that accuracy. It was some good body work again by Dogboe, and he took the fight to Ramirez at points in this round, but Ramirez more accurate at long range in the center of the ring, not even throwing shots with as much steam on him as he was earlier. 10 seconds left. Dogboe trying to get into the body and set up that uppercut up top. Nice 1-2 on the outside by Ramirez to finish that round. And that'll do it for round 11. Ramirez more accurate, not as active, and got backed into the ropes, ate some body shots, but he was very accurate with those 1-2s, with the jab and with the 2, with the straight left hand on the outside. That's Ramirez's round. 6 rounds to 5, Ramirez. That's what I got it right now. 105, 104 Ramirez right now. 105, 104 Ramirez. I know ESPN's going to have it wider than that, so I do got it 6 rounds to 5 for Robeisy Ramirez. Looks like he may wind up, being that 2-time gold medalist who wins a title in the pros. Let's see. Yep, that straight left hand was blocked by Dogboe, but then it was actually the 2-1 on the slow-mo replay by ESPN right now. Not the 1-2, but the 2-1, where you throw that backhand first and then finish with the lead hand. And that was what they show on the slow-mo there in round 11 for Robeisy Ramirez. Dogboe banging his gloves together. He's been game, but looks like he's going to fall just a little short tonight, it looks like in all likelihood, unless he can produce something here in the 12th. Let's see. Dogboe has fought better than people gave him credit for. He's made this a very close fight, but it looks like he may still wind up falling short. Let's see what happens here in the 12th. Starts with a straight right hand left hook. Ramirez blocking as he has much of the shots up top in the second half of the fight. Dogboe falling short with a left hook and a right hand, but he's on the front foot. He's letting his shots go. Ramirez, the last couple rounds, has been fighting like a guy who just wants the finish line to happen, doing just enough to win a round. Dogboe has been emptying himself, but just can't be as accurate on the outside against the longer arms of Ramirez. Down goes Dogboe on a slip. The referee's going to call it a punch. They're going to call this a knockdown, and it looked like it was more of an off-balance slip, but the referee saw it as a knockdown. Maybe Ramirez did graze Dogboe there with a grazing left hand, but that knockdown's going to seal it for Ramirez in the 12th. I got to see a replay. Hopefully they have instant replay. It didn't look like Dogboe went down on a shot. It looked like they were off balance, but it's a 1-2 down the middle for Ramirez, catching it on the high guard by Dogboe. Dogboe trying to come forward. Straight left hands for Ramirez. Jab, hooking off the jab by Ramirez. Back comes Dogboe with some explosiveness, trying to hook around the guard, trying to just bust through that guard with hooks, but Ramirez with a good guard catching that stuff. I got to see that replay after the round. Nice right hand lands for Dogboe, backing Ramirez up on the ropes. Ramirez back with a stiff jab to try to reestablish distance, but Dogboe backs him into the ropes again. Ramirez catching a lot of those shots on the inside, but Dogboe explosive when he's been opening up. Halfway through the round, and Ramirez with a 10-8 round probably got this fight won now, barring a overturn on an instant replay knockdown. It looks like they are looking at the replay ringside in Oklahoma, so maybe we'll see. Minute left in the round. That knockdown could be overturned. Ramirez is winning the round right now. Dogboe, nice 2 body shots by Dogboe, and a left uppercut almost split the guard there after those 2 body shots by Dogboe. Straight left hand by Ramirez really knocked Dogboe's head up. Dogboe is stunned a little bit. His legs did a funny dance. Ramirez on the end of his shots, long range, straight left hand knocked Dogboe's head up. 45 seconds left. Dogboe still coming forward. Ramirez, even without the knockdown, has won this round because of that straight left hand and has won the fight on my card, barring a big moment here from Dogboe in the last 30 seconds. Nice jab by Ramirez on the outside. Ramirez doing just enough. Not empty in the tank, not throwing combinations really, but just doing enough behind that long jab and knowing how to time that left hand at times. 15 seconds left. Dogboe continuing to fire. Left hook up top, left hook to the body. Pins Ramirez along the ropes, but Ramirez with a good high guard catching and taking away a lot of the steam off those shots. And that'll do it. A big missed right hand by Dogboe. Great effort by Dogboe, but Ramirez bangs his gloves and screams to the heavens as he knows he feels he's got this fight won. I scored it 115-112 for Ramirez. I gave him that last round. He buzzed Dogboe with a straight left hand. And I gave the crowd is loving it in Oklahoma. Apparently, a lot of Cubanos made their way down and they all feel like their man got the fight won. Let's take a look at that replay on the knockdown. With or without the knockdown, I have Ramirez winning this fight 7 rounds to 5. So either 115, 112, 115, 113, depending on how they rule that knockdown on the replay. Let's take a look here. Hope you guys enjoyed that call. I got to take a piss once this is done. We might wrap the show with some Undisputed gameplay tonight, right? We might close with some Undisputed. Yeah, no doubt. For OZ for real says, no doubt now for Ramirez after that knockdown. Agreed. Definitely Ramirez's fight now. So, but I had it closer than I thought. CompuBox was hating on Dogboe a little bit. He was landing more of those body shots than they were giving him credit for. I had the fight even after 8. Had the fight even after 10, even though I'm sure most people didn't. But Ramirez pulled away, being rangy, just on the out. Dogboe was explosive. Every time he opened up with bad intentions, but he couldn't land up top enough. Ramirez would catch. Some of the body shots would get underneath. But then whenever Ramirez would get that distance in the center of the ring, it wasn't prolific. It wasn't combination punching, but he was accurate with the jab and with the 2. Sometimes throwing 1-2, sometimes throwing 2-1s, sometimes just throwing the 2 as a pop shot, sometimes just touching with the jab. But he got more and more accurate in the second half of the fight as that went on. And I think it separated him in the championship rounds there. So I got Ramirez winning this fight. Can we see the look on this replay here? Barry Hunter is not happy about the knockdown. We're trying to they're taking a look ringside. Let's hear what they say. No, maybe no knockdown. We'll see here. Ramirez feels like he's got this fight won either way. A-Rod, thank you, my man. Said great commentator. Final punch stats. Let's see here. 160 shots out of 495 for Robeisy Ramirez. 619 punches thrown, over 100 more punches thrown by Dogboe, and he landed 113 of them according to CompuBox. Ramirez much better with the jab. Landed 39 jabs to 12 for Dogboe. Power shots, 121 for Ramirez, 101 for Dogboe. So, close in power shots. And now we're just awaiting the final decision. Ramirez totally feels like he's got this one got this one won. Guys in the chat, make sure you hit the like button, please. We could use the support. Fred Anayan said great commentary. Thank you, my man. Tom Boya 2 said great commentary. Thank you. Happy you guys enjoyed the commentary. Hit the like if you enjoyed it. I'm surprised we got all the way up to 800-900 people. It's 1 o'clock on the East Coast and got some love. All right, let's get this verdict. Scorecards are taking a long time to come in. Scorecards are taking a while. Here we go. Come on now, give us a verdict. Taking a long time. It's not that hard to count up 12 rounds scored. Here we go. Here we go. 117-110. 118-109. This is Ramirez. 119-108. Jesus. Come on. He didn't fucking shut this guy out. Robeisy Ramirez gets a little too wide unanimous decision. I thought Dogboe at least won 4 rounds, at least 3 rounds. I gave him 5. Maybe that was generous. But yeah, I felt that, yeah, that was too wide. But the right man won. The new WBO featherweight champion of the world, Robeisy Ramirez, to my eyes, didn't blow out Dogboe the way a lot of the bookmakers thought. I thought he would beat Dogboe more decisively than he did. I thought Ramirez might be the best featherweight in the world. You got to pump the brakes on that now. He's got to prove it. He didn't look so far beyond the competition that you just got to pick him against the field. Not no way, not no how. But he won this fight. He definitely won this fight. Shout out to Cuba. Shout out to Robeisy Ramirez, the new WBO featherweight champion of the world. I gotta take a piss, chat. I gotta really take a piss. But hold on, let me get some people in the chat. Yeah, that was terrible. Terrible scorecards, but they did get the right winner. They did get the right winner, and I think Dogboe knows that as well. Let's also cap the stream tonight with some undisputed, right? I haven't finished the last couple streams with some undisputed, so let's do that. So yes, Dogboe needs to go to 122. I agree, Kina Demetrios, but he's a muscle-bound guy, so it might be hard for him to get back down to 22. I feel like if he could make 22, he'd still be there. Best featherweight in the world, Sean, come on. I didn't say he is the best featherweight in the world. I don't know who the best featherweight in the world is now. I suspected it was him heading into this fight, but based on what I saw tonight, I can't just pick him to beat Ray Vargas or someone like Leo Santa Cruz if he got back to 26. Those are tough fights for him, man. I don't know. But he did win. He won the fight. You know, shout out to Robeisy. One of these guys who didn't fail at getting the pro title, you know, after winning gold medals. Not everyone could do that. Although he did win the WBO top rank belt, you know. He did win that Zhu Shiming title. Even I say that because Top Rank even managed to get Zhu Shiming to a title coming out the Olympics with gold medal. So, all right, chat, let me take a piss real quick, and we'll close the show right. We'll close with some undisputed. So, 1 second. Thank you, everyone. Be right back. Be right back. Don't y'all leave. I'll be Canelo. I'll be Fury. Let me know, chat, who do you want me to use once I get back in the game? All right, let's go. How you gonna do it like this, son? How you gonna do it like that, son? Doodly, 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 doo. It's that Dave Chappelle references. Let's go. Let's go. Caleb Plant is in Undisputed, but he's not in the game yet. Like, he's gonna be in the final game. But, but yeah. The scorecards were horrible, Weedy Gonzalez. They were, bro. They were. But they got the right guy. So, all right. Who we gonna rock with tonight, chat? Who we rocking with? We doing Canelo? Am I doing Roy? Am I doing one of the Sugar Rays? Are we doing heavyweight? We gonna rock with Fury or Wilder or Usyk? What are we doing? Thoughts on Lara versus Wood, too? Lara's the younger guy who already won the first fight. You know, Wood's coming off a knockout, getting up there in age, especially in the lower weight divisions. Probably fought as good a fight as he could have the first time. I favor Lara to win again. All right, let me just pick someone then. Let's roll with Canelo, right? Let's do some Canelo. Fuck it. Canelo's not the easiest to win fights with in this game because of his height. I'm going to do my thing. Eduardo Chavez said it was a pretty clear, wide, unanimous decision for Ramirez. I think that's how most people would see it, Eduardo. You know, I probably was being maybe too generous to Dogboe, but I felt like he was landing a little bit more than Copybox is giving him credit for. I felt Ramirez didn't have his foot on the gas in some of those rounds, and Dogboe did. And I gave Dogboe credit for the body work. You know, although in the second half, Ramirez really was starting to catch everything. But Dogboe did catch him with some right hands, some uppercuts. I think he definitely did better than the judges gave him credit for. Maybe I gave him too much credit, giving him 5 rounds, but I definitely thought he won at least 3 or 4. Yeah, Roy Jones just... Oh, you know what? That's who we're using, y'all. Nope, Roy Jones, because I heard Roy, way past his prime, just lost to Anthony Pettis or something. We're using Roy Jones. We got to get some get back with Roy Jones to finish the night. See, some of you guys were asking me about the game bread stuff, and then at the last second, I figured out it was some Roy Jones, Anthony Pettis stuff, and I didn't even know what was happening because I don't want to know about that shit, man. I don't want to see an old Roy Jones fighting anymore. I love Roy Jones. He's one of the greatest fighters ever. I can't stand to see some of the great fighters I love fight past their prime. It's one of my least favorite things in this sport. So, I'm happy I didn't see that shit. John Abrams said fake champion. Who are you referencing, John Abrams? Dogboe just called it a dictatorship decision and run it back. Did he, Keena? He said it was a dictatorship? I mean, America isn't as free as it kind of used to be. It's not a dictatorship yet, but... Man, I'm just being funny, you know. But, may have a point. No, I'm just kidding. It was a bad scorecard, but they got the right winner, Keena. Fake judges? John Abram? I mean, the judges were bad. They were bad. They all had it, what, 10-1 or 10-2, 11-1, shit like that. Yeah. If you're Dogboe, I get why you want a rematch because you were in that fight. And you took the fight to him. You out-hustled him at certain points, and you landed some good shots, so I get it. Dogboe wants to run it back, but if you're Ramirez, you definitely don't want to run it back. You want to move on to the bigger things now.
All the seats
Here we
have
go.
been sold. We're at Brooklyn Hall. I'm Todd Grisham. Alongside me,
he's Roy Jones too. See, he must be playing with a heavy heart tonight himself.
The fans, everybody around the world, the fighters. This is just one of those
Turn the
things.
shit down on my monitor.
It's time now for our tale of the tape.
All right, guys.
In
I am
this
the good Roy
it's
Jones, the
Roy
16-0,
Jones Jr.,
sexy, undefeated
180
Roy Jones.
tall,
He's
with
the journeyman Roy
188
Jones, 17 and 15. We
And he'll
dedicate
be
ending this
facing
stream to RJJ, Captain Hook, Mr. Untouchable, Superman,
Roy Jones
RJJ.
Jr. He
Okay?
won-
Who want to get knocked out? Who want to get knocked out? Roy Jones!
Fighting out of the
And still, Mr. Unstoppable. And still, Mr. Unknockoutable. Last of my combat fall, so I had to leave my mark. Got a highlight, take that sun real with the greatest knockouts you ever saw. Let's go. All the Roy Jones
Not too
jams.
many seats to be had in this
I think I'm
arena
Blue Trunks
as
Roy
the
Jones.
hype continue-
Oh, he quit. Come on. No. All right. We got to find someone else. Come on. Got to find someone else. Come on, man. Roy Jones should have retired a long time ago, like 10 years ago, or like 16, 15 years ago, says Jotaro Kuch. Yeah, if Roy would have retired after the first Tarver fight, when he won that fight, he didn't get a gift. He won that fight. He gutted it out with his right hand in the center of the ring to the body. Not a sexy punch. You know, Tarver would get Roy on the ropes and beat him up on the ropes, but it would only be for 30, 40 seconds around, and then Roy would control the fight in the center of the ring, and I felt like Roy gutted that one out. If he would have retired after that fight, Roy would have went down as top 10 all-time, no questions asked. You know, because he would have been middleweight to heavyweight and would have went out on top with 49-1, only lost by DQ, avenged by first-round knockout. So, I mean, Roy to me is one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's probably the greatest talent of all time, pound for pound, in terms of being blessed, you know, athletically, punching power, reflexes with movement and feet, and yeah, so. But it'd be nice if we could get a fight here. I feel like David Benavidez from 2020 to 2022. It'd be nice to get a fight here. It'd be nice for someone to actually get in the ring here. Let's see. ASFM says, "What do I think about the game?" I love the game. I mean, it needs work. It's a work in progress. It's not a finished product. There's some things that are still wonky, but I love the game. Honestly, I wish someone would give me a fight right now, but I love the game. It's I've had a lot of fun with it. I love counterpunching in this game. Counterpunching in this game, and in the exchanges, punching in between the other fighters' punches feels better than it ever did in Fight Night. You know, still got to work on some things though, but I've been loving the game. Roy should have retired when Calzaghe beat him. He should have retired way before that. He should have retired after. He should have probably called it a day after the third Tarver fight. If I get it, like he had to run it back with Tarver. He felt big money, HBO pay-per-view. That fight did some good numbers too, like over 400,000 buys. And then the third Tarver fight, okay, it's a rubber match, but after that, everything after Glenn Johnson was just like, I didn't want to see it. Everything after Glenn Johnson, I just didn't want to see it. I loved him too much. Damn. Where we at, man? They're killing me tonight with the matchmaking. I might have to restart the game or something. Let me back out to the menu. See if we can get it. We want to avenge Roy Jones. Nicholas Annam said, just woke up. Who won or who is winning? Isaac Dogboe? No, Ramirez won the fight. I had it closer than ESPN and the judges had it, but Ramirez pulled away in the second half of the fight. I thought it was very competitive through about 8 rounds, and Dogboe was landing some good body shots, taking the fight to him, throwing good combinations, but Ramirez was more accurate on the outside, hurt him, buzzed him a couple times with the straight left hand. Got a questionable knockdown call in the 12th that they never showed the replay on, and but he won the fight. So Ramirez is the new champ. Yeah, Roy's schooling on Tony is one of the greatest dominations in boxing history. Totally agree. Yeah, if we don't find a matchup here in the next couple minutes, guys, I might have to call it a wrap. If I don't get a matchup in the next 2 minutes with Roy, I'll switch to heavyweight. And maybe see if I can get a match there. Man, is no one playing Undisputed right now? I feel like that can't be it. Just sometimes matchmaking could be, a little weird. Kind of want to see what they're saying on Twitter about the fight. Let me see. Let me see. Oh yeah, I see. Okay, the quote from Isaac Dogboe. He said, Robeisy Ramirez is a terrific fighter, but the result was bullshit. That knockdown was no knockdown. You talk about a dictatorship. That was a dictatorship of results right there. Damn. Damn, he's not playing. NHB TV said, I was at work listening to commentary. Appreciate it. You got it, brother. You got it. Got it. Happy to do it. Let me know, Sean. YouTube is my only social media site. Which one, Weedy? What are you talking about? I'm a little lost here, getting a little tired. I want some smoke, man. I want someone to fight. All right, let's try heavyweight. Let's do I'll do Deontay Mayweather. I'll use Deontay Wilder like he's Floyd. And beat the brakes off somebody. You know what? I might reboot the damn game. Let's see. Oh, on Twitter? Oh, Weedy. Oh, yeah, you don't know what's on Twitter. John Abrams said, I love this channel so much. Thank you, brother. Irvin Green said, what's the next step for you, Sean, career-wise? I don't know, man. Just trying to actually be, I don't know, really good. Take it as, I don't know. Good question. Chilling here late at night. As far as I could take it is all I could say. Sean, what fight do you consider the greatest fight in boxing history? I think the fight that usually comes to mind is Ali Frazier 1 or 3, because Ali Frazier 1 had, you know, 2 undefeated heavyweight champions going at it, and you know, it was such a great buildup of animosity and a contrast of personalities and styles. I mean, beautiful contrast of styles, as beautiful as it gets. And you know, then they fight at Madison Square Garden in '71, both undefeated heavyweight champions, talking a whole bunch of trash. You know, Ali opposed the Vietnam. Joe Frazier looked at as like more of like conservative America's guy. And then they get in the ring and they deliver, you know, one of the top 5 or 3 greatest, you know, heavyweight championship fights in history. Ali gets off to a fast start, does all these beautiful things with his hand speed, but then his legs can't hold up for 15 rounds after being off, you know, that time. And then Frazier gets him on the ropes, and Ali is forced to show his heart and exchange with the bigger puncher all night. And they just go at it and at it and at it and at it. And Ali throws 72 punches in a heavyweight fight in the 14th round. And then Frazier drops him after Ali does that feat in the 15th round with one of the greatest left hooks in boxing history. And you just get a fight that, you know, exceeded the highest expectations there ever could be for a heavyweight title fight. So I'm tempted to say it's Ali Frazier 1, you know, is the greatest fight in boxing history. You know, Leonard Hearns 1 is up there as the all-time great chess match fought at the highest level possible. You know, yeah. But yeah, man. Maybe all right. I could try to boot this up one more time, but if not, we'll just call it a night, chat. Guess it wasn't meant to be on Undisputed. Trying to back out of here. Yeah, let me. Oh no, we gotta fight. We gotta fight. Just when we were gonna call it a day. Let's go. Greatest trilogy of all time, I would say, yeah, Ali Frazier. Oh, good. We get some easy work to finish the night. You know, Morales Barrera, Bo Holyfield, Ali Frazier. Those are the ones that obviously come to mind right away. Pacquiao Marquez. I know they fought 4 times, but you can still consider trilogy. Here we go. Pacquiao Morales was a great trilogy. I actually went to the second and third fights when I was a freshman in high school, so I was very sad. Morales was my favorite fighter, along with Bernard Hopkins, and he lost. So I'm Red Trunks Deontay Wilder. What's this man doing? Is this man trolling? Yep, he quit. That's why they call me No Mas Shanko. That's why they call me No Mas Shanko. Alright. We'll try one more time. Ooh. That was ugly. Let's go. We'll try one more time here. These guys, they quit on us. Weedy Gonzalez, you see that dominant performance? Good, we got to fight right away. Okay, we're good. KB24, absolutely. Dominant performance. That's a dub. Alright, here we go. Damn, okay, this dude's not shook. Look at him. 171 wins, 80 losses. He's ready to go. Alright. Out of love for Roy Jones, us hardcore boxing fans are going to finish this stream with a Roy Jones mirror match. So no matter what, Roy Jones is going to win this fight. But it will be me. I am Blue Trunks Roy Jones. Let's go, chat. Let's go to work. Allow me to focus a little bit. go. Counter shot right there. Yep. To the body. Counter again to the body. Step out of range, reset. Let's go to work. Oop, combination. He left it there. I don't know why he left it there, so I said, all right, I'll take it. I'll get a little greedy for a sec. Boom. Oh. Counter to the body again. Finish up with the right up top. Let's go. Touch. Let's go. Oops. Oops. Don't want to reach. There we go. There we go. Whoop, whoop. Oh, I got countered up top a little bit, but it's all right. Back to the body. Counter right up top. Let's go. Boop. Back to the body. And reset. Boom. Counter left hook. Let's go, chat. You see it, chat? Oh, back to the body. Oh. Okay. He's trying to get a little something back. Slow him back down. Oh, good counter hook by him. Let's not forget to touch him. There we go. Yep. We'll take that. We'll take that round. We'll take that round, right, chat? Let's go. You guys see it? Let's go. No mas Shanko. Root me on, chat. Root me on, chat. 1-0. We're up. This guy's got a good record. 170 wins. But we're going to take him to school. Touch him with the right. Touch him with the right. Counter him. Let's go. Just keep touching that body and breaking him down. We're just going to keep touching the body and breaking him down. There we go. We don't gotta get greedy, but we gotta stay down there. I should have just took them a couple and then get out of there. There we go. Reset it. Set it up again. Oh, he quit. No Mashanko, guys. He quit. He quit. The man's a 250 fight veteran. Right? 250 fight veteran, 170 wins. And what's he do? We make him do the no Mashanko. Let's do it. We make him do the no Mashanko. Yep, 10-9. I was winning the first round. Let's final punch stats. He threw 107. He missed most of it. 32% connect percent. Me, 51. Counters, 13-2. And your boy gets the rage quit as he typically does. Hence the nickname. To the winner's cam. And we will call it a night, chat. Roy Jones is your winner. Out of respect to Roy Jones, we'll take that. And you guys have a great night. Great rest of the night. And what do we got next week? We got a lot of fights for to do some round by rounds. We got Shakur Stevenson versus Yoshino. We got Bam Rodriguez. And then we got Brian Mendoza against Sebastian Fundura. So keep it locked in here to Fight Hype. And still undefeated on the stream. Your boy Sean. You guys have a great rest of the weekend. And God bless.